figure some things out. So you get to be part of the discovery process with us, Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for being here,
We had
guys.
someone that was going to come in, but then they had to bail because of work last minute, so we had backups.
All right, let me put them in here. Admit all. So at least they can hear us. I'm got to figure out how we're going to be able to see two Zoomers. I'm sure I can figure it out, but figuring it out in the right amount. Oh, but they're together. Okay, now hold on.
Oh, okay. Then that's only one camera,
Yeah,
right?
then it's only one camera. Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear us?
Perfect.
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah. You look good.
Dan and Shanna.
Let me fix this. Give me a second here. I'm gonna up. Look at that. Look at it. And then Colette's camera. It worked. Good Lord, have mercy. It worked. All right, Tom. Better than I think I am at this garbage.
Dan and Shanna, I will have to say, Colette, this is not a professional relationship advice. This is for entertainment
Purposes
so
only?
Don't
What are
sue
you-
Thank you,
Colette.
Tom.
What are you, jackass?
Thank
Don't
you.
try this
No,
at all.
I know Colette has to do that legally. She has to
Yes.
let the patient know, like, we're not doing actual therapy.
You're not a patient.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Because you know you're voiding your confidentiality or whatever, something. Dan and Shanna.
Well, I thought you used her as a free counseling each week.
Yeah, no,
Good point.
Get
Well,
'em,
I
Dan.
do.
Dan, get him.
But I don't care about the privacy and whatever. I'll do anything for free.
I'll do anything for love.
Tom will
No
gladly
privacy.
violate himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love
It's
violating
the only way he
myself.
gets violated, if you know what I mean. He may have been violating himself right before you got here, which is don't go in the bathroom.
There was no boundary. I have no boundary.
Neither do I. Did you hear what I just said? All right, we did it. All right, Tom, we have limited time. Let's
Okay,
go.
yeah. Let's do it.
Let's jump into it.
Yep.
Thank you guys for doing this, by the way. Appreciate you both.
You're welcome.
All right,
problem.
here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to Love Thy Neighbor, a relationship show on the couch with us, Colette Jane Fair. As always, how you doing, Colette?
I'm great.
Dan Dennis is here.
Hey, I like being called Dan Dennis. You never call me Dan. I like that. When he calls me Dan, I feel like he's actually my friend. Most of the time when he says, Daniel, get in here. It's all falling apart. Get in here, Daniel.
Well, sometimes you call me T. I'm like,
I
so
call
where'd
him T.
that come from?
You know, I will tell you because I know how my emotional brain works, and I care. This is starting off emotional, but I really cared about your brother, and he used to call you T. And somehow it sunk into my brain because he would be like, hey, T, and I'd hear it a lot when he was hanging out at the radio station eating pepperoni sandwiches, and it's in my brain, and I don't know, maybe I do it as like a tribute to him.
I like that.
Too emotional, but
Sentimental
but it
and
is
lovely.
connected to Timmy, 100% connected to Tim. And if you want me to not do it because
That's fine.
Okay.
You can do it. Like I said, anybody can do anything. To me. I don't care. So today we're doing something new we've never done before, but we have always wanted to since we started the show.
dare I say we're doing something a little bit dangerous.
And
We are.
And we have some listeners on Zoom with us. Dan and Shanna are on Zoom right now. How you doing, Dan
What's
and
going
Shanna?
on, guys?
Hey, guys.
So we're going to do our first ever relationship interview with some listeners who are in a relationship.
And I like that you guys look like you're coming to us live from Orange County Jail.
So now we didn't go over how this is going to go, but I'll just make it up right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to interview Dan and Shanna, get an idea of who they
A
are.
baseline. We're getting a baseline reading.
And what kind of relationship. And Colette's the professional, obviously,
Okay,
and she'll kind of ask the important questions. And
I
then-
really could have showed up about an hour later. Like, there's literally no need for me to be here.
But then what I'm going to do, and I'm letting Dan and Shanna know this right now.
You call me Dan again.
No, this is the Dan that's on the
Dan
Zoom with
in
us.
jail.
Sorry, it's too
The
confusing.
Dan
My
in jail.
emotions are too confusing.
And I'm going to figure out whether they have a better relationship than I do, whether it's better or worse.
Beat Tom's Marriage! It's our new game show, Beat Tom's Marriage.
And then I'll grade them with A to F relationship.
Whoa.
And then
What about an
C.
incomplete?
And I'll just say that I grade my own relationship as a C+. And I've gone over. I spent the whole truck right here.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
sees it. He can't plus it.
middle of the road, C plus. I mean, it is a plus. It's on the higher side of the C.
No, are you waiting? Are you waiting the connection and the way that you and your wife communicate and execute your relationship is a C plus?
Yes.
I think you're going way high on that, buddy.
What?
I think I really.
Well, that's
C
F+,
plus.
F+.
I know. I was gonna give myself a C, and this guy
plus.
thinks he's
No.
a C plus. If I'm a C, you're a C plus. Get the hell out!
No,
of
no,
here.
see, I
This
know.
will tear our show apart.
I've done the math on this. I've just based on 18 years of marriage as of Sunday. That's got to count for something, right? So that weighs heavier.
Longevity does not
Really?
count.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Ask Strom Thurmond.
Has
who he
nothing
was-
to do with it. Yeah.
Strom
it's got
Thurmond was
to.
in the Senate for like how long? 190 years? The most
Strom
racist
Thurmond.
man in the world?
I mean, you could be married for 50 years and have a terrible relationship.
No way.
Yeah. It's quality and not
marriage-
quantity.
Oh,
Well,
hold on.
this
Dan
is
wants
not-
to say something.
Okay,
yes,
sorry,
Dan.
Dan.
Yes, Dan.
My first marriage was 20 years, and that was definitely in the D to F range.
Oh.
Thank you.
Longevity does not matter.
Thank you. No, that's really true, you guys. Honestly, like we walk around in society celebrating people. Oh, I've been married for 30 years, like it's a badge of honor. It's just false. You
Well,
know?
hold on.
Tom's like, that's all I have.
I mean,
You're
yeah.
looking at me like someone just sunk your Iranian boat with a submarine.
I can understand that being the case in maybe a different culture where you're just like, stuck.
But you can be
there ain't no way
miserable
out.
for 15 years. People do it with their careers all the time. We were doing it a little bit. We were spinning our wheels in a job that we hated. Had we stayed there an extra 10 years, would that have been celebrated by anybody?
Yeah, hold on.
That's pretty good, right? That's
I
pretty
didn't. Hate is a strong word.
I've been hanging out with Colette.
It wasn't perfect.
I'm getting smart hanging
No,
out with
look,
her.
this is what I see in couples therapy, and this is why it's good that we're doing this today and that we're making talking about relationships and our struggles more open.
Okay.
Because it is great to be in a long relationship if it's good, and it's something we should celebrate. But the idea that having been married or together for decades automatically means you're successful at relationships, that's what's false.
Okay.
And part of it is that people don't know how to deepen their relationship and have more connection. And that's what this is all about.
I'll bring it down to a C.
All right. You know what?
Unfair.
I will agree
Unfair.
on the C. We have come to an accord.
Okay, yeah.
And
Middle of the
that
road.
we now have an
C.
agreement.
Okay, all right, I'll take the
Two
plus. Up.
Cs.
Okay, let's start with Dan and Shanna. So,
Oh, wait. Let me put them
Where'd
back
they
up
go?
here. Yeah, they're
Okay.
here. They're
Okay.
here. Sorry, guys.
So,
I'm
Dan
working
and
a lot
Shanna.
of buttons over here.
let's talk about your relationship. Give us some background. How long ago did you guys meet? Are you married? Do you have kids? All that.
Yep.
Jazz.
We met, July will be 9 years ago. And we've been living, myself in Georgia and him in Florida, doing it long distance because we each have a teenager. We have a senior and a junior this year. So when they both graduated, then I'm in Florida full time.
Okay, so
Oh,
you.
wow.
So,
That's an extra difficulty, the long distance relationship aspect.
and how
Yes.
long? How long did you do the long distance?
Oh, we're still doing
You're
it
still
now.
doing
He's
it.
just in Georgia with
Yeah,
me
you could
right now.
you could tell between his listening comprehension and him saying whatnot earlier that he really cares about your plight.
Active listening
Still-
is not
still-
Tom's skill.
Still doing
So now
the.
we're gonna move. Now we're gonna move Tom's marriage down to a D.
No, hold on.
100%.
Okay, no, all right. So,
There's no way.
So
This was your idea, by the way. He thought of the. He's like, we'll get these couples. We'll get them in. We can even do them on Zoom. We can do this every week. Had gift bags, lots and lots of gift bags.
So Colette.
So, Tom, what do you
yes.
think Crystal would grade your marriage?
Hold on. Listen, I'm doing the interviewing here, Dan. You just sit there. I got a question for Colette. This guy was, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, this is one of the crazier episodes we've done.
All right, so Colette, let me ask you this: long distance relationships. Okay, so what's your opinion on those?
Overall, it can be challenging for the obvious reasons, right? That you don't have proximity, you don't have the ability to see your person at the end of the day and have that kind of day in and day out normalcy, but some people can and do make it work. And I'm eager to hear how this couple navigates those challenges, because typically what happens, let me just say this. I was in a long distance relationship for 3 years. Now, my children were really young and this person's children were really young. And it got really difficult a couple years in. And ultimately the relationship ended because of the distance.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the time, I was in the process of becoming a therapist. I wasn't a therapist yet. And I looked into books on how to make a long distance relationship work, and they'd all gone out of print. And I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. So I think it's really interesting that this couple have been together for 9 years, and I'm eager to hear more about how they navigate the distance.
Okay, so Dan and Shanna, how did you and do you make this work?
I know you guys talked a few weeks ago about putting stuff on the calendar to look forward to it. We schedule things out like 2 months in advance. So we're together either every weekend or every other weekend. Either I'm coming here or she's coming down to Florida.
Well, there you go. That's huge, right? You get to see each other often. And I'm curious, are you able to get to each other within driving distance, or do you have to fly?
We fly. For the first year or so, we met halfway, but driving sucks.
Yeah. Also, it's like, making love on a dirty hotel mattress.
Yeah.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
Well, I mean, our first year or so, we met at Motel 6 halfway through, and that was our meeting spot.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You want to graduate from that to
Right.
something a little nice.
Okay, can we back up for a second, though, and find out a little more about how they met and what this is something that I often ask couples in therapy early on, even when a relationship's not in a good place. What was it about your partner that first attracted you to them? And there's a lot in this question that I'm looking for. So I'm curious, how did you meet, and what was it about each other that first attracted you?
Well, my college roommate in Michigan ended up being my first brother-in-law. He had a podcast down here in Florida. We both had lived in Florida. Shayna listened to the podcast, and then we kind of interacted on Twitter, which is now X, and I fell in love with her sense of humor. And then, I mean, her face did not hurt the situation, but yeah, sense of humor. We went back and forth on Twitter a lot, and then we ended up meeting for lunch one day in July, and at that point that we were in marriages that we did not want to be in, and there was other options that were better for the two of us, and that's the two of us together.
Wow. Okay, so you were attracted to her physically, it sounds like, and her sense of humor even before you met her in person.
Yeah.
It was sense of humor because I didn't really I didn't see her. We talked for almost half a year before we actually met up in person.
Oh,
but
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
It's the banter back and forth,
her sense of
and
humor.
the jokes and
Well,
personality.
That's really,
first.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. That's almost like Love is Blind kind of a vibe. And I love the fact that you guys fell in love over the misinformation on X. That's just something so charming about that, right?
Also, I found that sense of humor will only get you so far.
Oh, dude, I can have stories. No, I think my sense of, oh man, when I was a single man, pow with the jokes.
Well, and it's a huge thing that women are attracted. I mean, it sounds like men obviously too, but women, if a guy has a good sense of humor, I think that's a big draw.
Yeah,
You lost
it really
your
is.
stuff.
And then I got her listening to Tom and Dan partway through the relationship.
Yeah. And now it's tearing your family apart.
I like a couple that likes the same podcasts. My wife
I don't
can't
have that.
stand
I don't have
any
that.
podcast I listen to.
Yeah, oh, Andrea
To the
hates
point where
everything I do.
She puts her fingers in her ears when I turn
Well,
it
that's
on.
what children do.
And I'm like, guys, it's not that bad.
La 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 la.
You're just talking odds here. Anyway, so Colette, I got a question for you. Because I started thinking about this, and I've known a couple in the past that had a long-distance relationship. And one person is a long-term military person, and so they were constantly gone, and then they'd come back, and then every time they came back, it was great. They had a great time, whatever, and then gone again and came back. And then they got used to that as a couple, and then finally we came back, and then they struggled to live together
Yeah.
because they were so used to just the fun times on the weekends when they see each other, everything was good, and then the day-to-day life grind that grinds you down. With stress.
It's not all weekend getaways.
Yeah. And then that was super challenging for them, and I think that's what's going to happen to Dan and Shanna.
Wow.
Is this what?
Way to be optimistic.
Is this the voice? Are you trying like I do not
Okay,
vote on them?
you are destined to be
He's doing
ruined.
American Idol here. He's like, I do not vote on them. I wish them nothing but a life of pain.
No, I don't wish that to. I'm just predicting the future.
You have a valid point. I mean, I don't think this is going to happen to our lovely couple here.
Okay,
I differ
all right.
from Tom. However, already I hear like this couple has a real connection. You can tell by their body language, how they talk, what drew them
They're
to one
holding
another.
each other in the interview.
I mean, I'll tell you, there's a lot to that is communicated through tone of voice, facial expression, body language. The words are actually kind of incidental. But to your point, there is something about the rhythm of seeing somebody looking forward to an every other weekend kind of scenario that daily life, in contrast, can grind you down. I once had a couple who were married long distance for more than a decade successfully. And then finally one retired and moved to the other's location and the relationship fell apart.
Because they were so used to it. 10 years is a long time.
Because there were things about each other that they had not discovered despite all of that time that did not work. There was a lack of compatibility on that more daily layer. So I'd be curious for you guys, and I am not forecasting doom. I see all signs of positivity.
We got him over
unlike
here.
Tom.
This is all for
Right,
him.
but
I can't. I mean,
This
I
guy's
don't
the
want
Danny
that to
Trainer
happen.
of doom, they call him.
I'm just, handicapping their relationship anyway.
But I want to know, what do you guys think makes you compatible? What are the strengths of the relationship?
A lot of it has to do with the fact that we've always tried to make it, like one of you said something about not just a weekend getaway, but we do day-to-day things when we're together so that we know that when we're full-time together that we're going to work well together and do normal everyday stuff and only sometimes get sick of each other.
Well, that's good. That's actually normal, right? If there's a little bit of annoyance or irritation, you're having a real
You
relationship.
have to have some of that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
After about day 5, you're like, I can't wait till this guy gets the hell out of my house.
His hygiene is disgusting.
So, and also, now Colette, let me ask you this. Because for Dan and Shanna, like, what if, because I've seen this happen before and I never thought it would work, but I saw it work into like long term, where my wife's mom's friends had basically, they were married and lived in separate houses.
Yes.
Like they were neighbors. And then they got married, but they never sold their house, and then they ended up just the husband lived in his house, the wife, and then
this is a growing trend, actually.
and then they lived in separate houses.
For rich
Look at
people,
Dan's
most people I
face.
know can't even afford a house.
No,
you know?
no,
One up.
Well, they
got
were
two?
they were already adults, and then they had former relationships, and they already had their houses.
correct.
And so it was like and then they made that last like 25 years.
Yep.
Where they basically
I
lived in
actually
separate
know a
houses.
couple that does this, like friends of the
me
family.
too. Me
in
too.
DeLand,
I
they
have
do
a family member who was in a 16-year relationship this way, and the relationship didn't end because one of them moved. I think that there are a lot of people for whom that could work. You do get set in your ways, and if you've lived in your home and nobody wants to give up their house or the comfort of that, and they're both content with the relationship with separate spaces, great. I mean, I think the majority of the reason more people probably don't do that is what Dan kind of half jokingly said. It's too expensive. More of us might love to have our own space and just have selective time together if we could afford it.
No.
We do it, and naturally my wife sort of forces it, and I know this has come up on the show before, but I have a good example from this past weekend. Maisie and Andrea they were like crafting on the Cricut machine. Okay. And they had spent a lot of time together because of dance. And Andrea is a focal point with dance. And I could see them kind of just picking at each other. And I'm just kind of sitting there watching it. Can't really do much because of my surgery, but I'm just watching it. And Andrea, like, they were picking to the point where Andrea boiled over. And Andrea's really good about this. And I didn't think I'd ever be the type of person where I would like this sort of thing or want this sort of thing. But she'll demand that we all go to our corners. Go do something alone. Leave me alone.
Okay.
And it's that blunt.
Yeah.
It's not really mean. We don't really take it that way anymore. Maybe in the first bits, I'm a sensitive guy. I took it that way. But it's kind of like,
leave me alone.
It is kind of a leave me alone. It's like, I need a moment. Like, look, I'm doing this. You guys, like, we've been up each other's butts this whole entire time to your corners. And she'll just say, we got to go to our corners. And
you need
go.
some space.
Yeah, we give mama some space. And it works. It works. Because then when we come back, we're like, everybody's like cooled out and chilled out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not the type of person to want that. If I love somebody or want to be around them, I want to be up their butt. That's me.
Yes,
That's me.
and you want to resolve things right away
Yes.
if there's a problem. But I'm a big fan of, and in fact, it's in my book, The Cost of Quiet, an official couples timeout policy, taking a pause, getting yourself emotionally regulated so you can have the conversation in an adult way, but not sweeping things under the rug. And so I want to ask these guys, because a couple is only as strong as how they handle conflict. Truly, your relationship, whether you're a C plus, an A, an F, really comes down to, are you able to have hard conversations? This is why I wrote the book. So I want to know how you guys handle difficult issues. Where do you get stuck, and how do you typically address those things?
We've gotten better the last probably 3 years. We're both very passionate, so when we have arguments in the past, some people are a little more stubborn than others.
I like that you speak for her, too. I do that for my wife as well.
That I approve of.
It's the American
I
way.
said the same thing.
But no, yeah, we've gotten better. We communicate better. We realize that, yes, we are stubborn. Our personalities are
Very
almost
similar.
identical. So we've learned to just let the person talk, and then we listen to them and acknowledge how they're feeling without saying, this is how I can fix you, which I know that's a big thing with Tom. And you can't always fix it. You can just listen and then kind of move on and don't make the same mistake twice.
You know what's funny?
And
I believe
I
with
put
Tom.
myself in timeout all the time.
Yeah, that's
Because
great.
I know once I get heated, and then I have to walk away, because sit on the back patio, go for a walk, because I get mean, and I know I do. So I put myself in timeout.
Okay, what you guys are saying, everyone listening, take note. These are huge things, wonderful things that you're doing. First of all, listening without trying to fix. People have an automatic urge to try to solve problems for their partner. We've talked about it on the show. I talk about it ad nauseum all day in my office. You've got to listen and validate somebody's perspective and give them some space to share what's happening rather than jumping in and trying to solve the problem. So that's huge, right? It's very disconnecting when someone starts to offer advice or fix it. And it's usually your own inability to sit in the discomfort of the moment and see your partner maybe suffering. And the second thing is giving yourself a time out. This is very important. I do this too, and I try to get all my couples to do this. A timeout is not about punishing your partner or not resolving the issue. It's about knowing yourself and your instinct to protect, right? She said, I can get mean. A lot of people have a part of self that comes out in conflict. It's survival mode that wants to attack or win the argument or insult your partner. Those words can be really damaging. You can't unspeak words. So removing yourself, cooling off, connecting to yourself and figuring out, why does this bother me? What do I need to share with my partner when I'm calm and I'm my adult self again? These two things alone go a long way to having better relationships. So I love hearing what these guys are sharing.
So, Dan, let's talk intercourse for a second here, because
Man to man. Let's talk intercourse, one man to another man. I want to talk openly about your intercourse in front of your wife, man to man. Let's do this. Let's get
No,
down
I'm
to
glad you're bringing this up. It's an important part of a relationship.
Yeah,
Let's get down to brass vaginas here. Let's do it.
Because now that I think about it, the long distance relationship, to me, it checks every box except for one that I need. You know, and all the other parts are good, pretty much. Like,
So you would say in your C+ world
yeah.
that everything. So a
Yeah,
C+
I would
is a sexless marriage. Okay?
No,
Let
no.
the record reflect a C+ is a sexless
So you
marriage.
can't have sex every day, and that's
well, not even every day.
How about every other day?
well,
Every other day?
I'm not doing that now.
Every other
I'm not
day.
even close. I'm lucky. I think I'm abnormally.
Would
low.
you accept that I've already done it since my surgery?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
I run so hot, man.
Yeah, no.
3 days
Oh,
after
shit.
surgery, I was like, "You better sit on it." Come on.
No.
Oh my God, I'm
Well, your
freaking out.
wife-
I'm freaking
well,
out.
So
I'm freaking
Because-
out. I
and-
run too hot.
And if you're seeing your, your significant other, like every other weekend, that's pretty good. Like as far as you're able to get every other weekend.
That's
or
a lot.
Once a month is,
That's a lot.
If you did it a lot,
I'm
and,
every other weekend and confirmed, and people tell me they're like, "You don't know how lucky you got it, man," and I do not look a gift horse in the mouth. I do not
Especially
take
at
it.
midlife.
I don't
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
granted.
No,
I'm
this guy-
very appreciative of my ways.
Yeah, and he's throwing off my ratio. Crystal tells me all the time, "Don't listen to Daniel.
He's crazy.
The ratio is way smaller. Is insanely small. You got it good." Anyway, I think she's lying because I'm like, there's no way for me to check it. ChatGPT doesn't tell me.
It
accurate
won't. It'll
information.
censor you.
He's tried.
It'll censor you.
Really?
It will.
Oh my
So,
God.
I can't tell. Help you with
Okay,
it.
yeah. So what's going on with their sex life here?
So the longer question is, if I was in Dan's shoes, right, what
Yeah.
I would do is, like, I'm getting horny as I'm thinking about going and seeing my wife. It's coming up in a week.
Yeah.
So then,
So you gotta fly with a boner.
so then, as we're getting closer and closer, I'm getting more and more excited that it's got to happen soon, right after we meet up and whatever. And then, of course, when we do, I'm just playing out what would happen. And when we do meet up, and then Crystal's not feeling it that day, I'm like, "Oh, what the hell? I've been waiting
Oh, you
2
have
weeks."
a freak out, a horny freak out. Horny freak outs are real.
And then I put
Yeah.
the pressure on her,
Yeah.
and then she hates the pressure.
Do you
and then
do-
she is almost the opposite of an aphrodisiac, where it's like, this kills it. And then my pressure.
An aphrodisiac sounds. I'm
know,
okay
I
with
was
that.
like,
No, I'm
wow.
okay with that. Aphrodisiac makes sense to me.
So,
And do you guilt her? Do you do what I do?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm a baby. Where if not in the mood, well then I'm not silent treatment the rest of the night.
Oh my God! Please let that not be true.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be honest on this show, Colette. Am I supposed to lie to you?
Well, I don't want you to lie. I guess I just wish that wasn't what you
I
did.
wish it wasn't either.
So you punish your wife with the silent treatment?
Not really.
Do you know
I
how
start
bad this-
doing
you
it.
Oh, yeah,
pout?
he does.
You
I
pout.
sure.
I pout. I start doing it. But
I-
I've learned my way out of
He's
it.
a
I have learned
crybaby.
my way
I
out of
heard
it.
it.
I have.
Yeah,
I am a
yeah.
crybaby. When it
Yeah.
comes to sex, total crybaby. I'm too horny.
Yeah,
Does she, how does she express how this impacts her? Does she tell you, "Hey, doesn't make me feel good when you do this," or "This puts pressure on me," or because putting pressure on someone is not a great way to have more sex or good for your
I'll prime the
emotional
pump for you, other Dan. She expresses it as me shutting down, and she's right.
Yes.
She's right. There's
But
no
how
point.
does she express like what it makes her, how it affects her? What are you hearing her say about that?
It's called
Oh,
it's called putting the baby to bed.
Oh, she hates it. Yeah, she hates it. Yeah. It's it's not good. And I've had to work really hard to not do it. And I don't
Yeah.
really do it anymore. But that would be that was my number one. Like, I was like, what? Come on. You know,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
I've had to learn to accept that it's not always going to be about both of us. Because there's a lot of times where she might not be feeling it, but she still wants to have sex to make sure that I'm getting off and I'm comfortable. So for a while, I didn't want to do it because it's like, if it's not going to be good for both of us, then why are we going to do it? So I've learned to take one for the team. And if she doesn't want to have sex for herself, then I'm fine with doing it just for me.
I guess I'll do it.
Wait.
I know. I'm
This
like,
guy's a true American
"Oh, what the hell? You don't want to have sex? The hell's wrong with you? I want to have sex every minute of the day.
And my wife, liking it or not liking it, will not come into play.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, this is why these guys are already having a better relationship than anyone in this room. I mean,
C plus.
wow.
C plus.
Right? Why?
But it
do-
doesn't happen. But it doesn't happen often. We're usually pretty much the same drive-wise.
wow.
But we've learned to make compromises for each other and
Yeah.
Yeah,
make it work.
there are times where we haven't left the airport before we go home. and we have some relations at the airport.
Oh yeah, I hope in that room where everybody smokes in.
That's gone.
the little smoking room.
That's gone.
And right outside of it, pee-pee dogs peeing on the pad.
Wait, you have sex at the airport?
We have, yes.
And it just what, in the restroom?
The family restroom and the
Breastfeeding.
In the restroom and on the border. We destroyed the on the border restroom.
No, I love it.
Broke the toilet.
So there's
on
a
the
lot
koala
of
changing table.
wait. So there's a lot of. You're saying you have.
It's a good height.
Yeah. The sink, right? The sink is perfect.
Colette's not used to all her listeners.
No. I have had sex on an airplane, people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Don't count me out and make me the boring one. I have had sex in an airplane bathroom.
Tom just slapped his leg and said, "Oh wow," like a farmer singing Aliens.
So I am fully supportive of this. Now, I do think the world's gotten a little more strict about stuff. And like, I don't want to get arrested by, the airplane marshal, or I don't know that I would do this now.
Yeah, but then you have sex with him if you're arrested, right?
He's got a gun.
That's one of my fantasies. Is the marshal comes over, is like, "Sir, were you vaping in the bathroom?" And I'm like, "Yes, I was."
Actually, I was having sex.
Yeah.
Well, in my
Female
case,
marshal.
when we walked out of the bathroom, everyone clapped. Like we were
Oh, they
discovered.
knew. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Discovered,
My
yeah.
God, Colette. Jesus. Now I've changed how I feel about you.
This is pre-internet because.
Am I getting? It is pre-internet.
Yeah,
It
this
is
will be on
pre-internet.
social media.
I think you're cooler now.
Yes,
a little bit,
yes.
yeah.
I think I'm actually decidedly less
Way
cool now.
cooler.
But I love this couple has serious spark. They have passion for each other. They've been together 9 years. They're still horny for each
and
other.
very comfortable. You can see how comfortable they are.
Yes, and also they're taking each other into account. Like this is so important. So not everyone has the same libido level. I would say this is more the exception than the rule. We know more than 80% of couples have what we call mismatched libido. One wants sex more than the other. So instead of this being a problem, it's just normal. But what you guys are describing is what other couples can do. We don't want to always be like, well, I want sex, so you should do it because I want it, whether you're enjoying it or not. And we also don't want to always be like, well, I don't feel like it, so I'm never going to do it unless I'm 100% horny, because honestly, that's how a sex life dies. You guys are jokingly saying, I don't care if my wife wants it, and I think you're only half joking.
Oh, come on, Colette. I got
It's a little more. It's a little more than half.
Tom's blushing.
No.
But you have to work to keep your connection and your attraction to one another alive.
No,
True.
100%.
That is true.
And
And part of that is discussing it, and I'm sure
Yes.
there are some people even listening to this conversation now, and trust me, 85% of this is Tom and I being silly, but we're only doing that because I do know that some of you listening to this conversation we're even having now makes you uncomfortable. I know it does.
Yeah, and it's good to be uncomfortable because we need to talk about
Well, then you're
these
getting
things.
work done, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And talking about your sex life is the number one thing that people don't want to do, but that actually gets your sex life back on fire and going again. If we're together for a long time, 9 years, 10, 20 years, whatever it is, what you desired, what turned you on, what was sexy to you is going to change over time. And your partner's going to go through, whether it's perimenopause or whatever the heck it is, times that they're more sexual, they're more connected to themselves, times that they're not. You got to be able to talk about these things. Like, what turns you on? Is there anything you've ever fantasized about that we haven't talked about? Are there things you want to try? If you're not so interested in sex, why? What's going on? A lot of times it's connected to how good your emotional connection is. So talking about this, even if it's making people uncomfortable, that's normal. But the more we talk about this, the better our sex lives are going to be.
and I got to say, just to kind of reverse back to what we were talking about when I was talking about, silent treatment, pouting, whatever you want to call it. I don't really do that now because we would talk about how my libido was insanely higher than hers. We've had conversations. It's been a joke on the show for how long?
Yeah, the whole time.
Like decades, but we've talked about it to the point where there have actually been, dare I say, productive arguments about, well, why don't you just ask me, or why don't you just tell me instead of just pouting because it didn't fall into place.
Ding,
That's
ding,
sort
ding.
of more my problem, right? Like, I want it to be, and I don't know if anybody else can identify with this, but this is why I'm being honest and putting it out there. I want it to be, because I'm an emotional person, I like fantasy, I'm an artist, right? I want I want it to fall into place like a GD romance novel or a movie or a show or, or anything that isn't real life being an actual human. And she would prefer it if I just say like, hey, I'm a little spicy today. You want it? Like, but I don't want to do that. Because that kills the romance part to me.
Yeah.
Well, and it
also
also requires vulnerability and risk of rejection.
Boom.
And this is the whole
Correct.
premise of my book.
And I had to get over that.
Relationships.
I had to just suck it up and be like, you're a fool. Your wife loves you. You love your wife. Her libido, there's nothing wrong with any of you. You just aren't communicating correctly.
You have to ask for what you want.
Correct. You're trying to use something that doesn't even exist, right? Like these fake whatever tropes or whatever you want to envision in your mind. She doesn't even know. She's got so much on her plate. She's got like the dance stuff that she's doing and presenting a presentation to the CTO of her company. She got like all these, I could give you a myriad of things that are on her mind. That's not on her mind. Why would it be?
But if you say it,
then it can be there.
It's an invitation.
The cost of quiet.
Yes. And this is the thing that happens for women emotionally. We fantasize about how our partner will see what we're feeling and needing and just respond in this magical way. Everybody has their version of this, but as emotionally mature adults, we have to actually say, this is what I'm thinking and feeling. Here's what I want in this moment. And sometimes it's going to be a no. That's real life. But the more we do that, the less scary that feels and the more connected we are and the more we get our needs met.
Can we acknowledge that men have the harder job? That's it.
Are you out of your mind?
Hold on, let me write that down.
Are you out of your mind?
Predict how you're feeling?
Hold on, let me get
No, you don't have to predict how that. I'm advocating for the opposite, but if you think men have the harder job, you are out of your mind.
What are you talking about? You're talking about eating it, right?
That and
Do men consider that like a bad, hard job? I thought men loved that.
yeah.
No,
No,
some guys do. Some guys do.
Some guys don't.
The physical mechanics is
I
harder.
look at it like the paperwork you have to do at the Rent-A-Center store. The big screen TV is awesome for the Super Bowl, but it's all the paperwork. I got to get through the paperwork.
It's paperwork.
See, I'm the opposite.
Okay, wait, let's hear this.
That's
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts about is that part of it.
Oral sex.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
Am I allowed to
And
say
me-
that?
You
Is
can
that
say
like
that.
that's not bad, right?
No, you can say that. I
And
just
me-
have to do this.
And me doing oral sex on her.
You
Stop.
love it. You love it. I mean, I know you probably like her. I would assume you like her performing oral sex on you, but you enjoy performing oral sex on her.
Yes, because that turns me on.
Yeah. See, I thought that was.
There's something funny about this interview because it does look like you're in a prison.
Hold on, let me go back. It does look like
So don't talk about oral sex in a prison.
this couple is in prison underground.
You guys literally cannot handle this without humor. You literally
sorry.
cannot handle
I'm
it.
sorry.
We're little babies.
Go ahead.
We're
Okay,
little
this
babies.
is hysterical.
No.
You have hitched yourself to the baby
But
wagon.
I think that what Dan's describing is more, this Dan, prison Dan, is more common than what you guys are saying. You're describing oral sex as doing paperwork. Like this
I
is
said that. That's
not,
me.
yeah, that is,
I said that.
That's an accurate
that is
description. of it.
depressing.
I'm like, oh God, how many times I gotta sign this thing?
Oh my God.
I'm
Okay.
like, how many flags are here?
Just start drawing a line.
And I don't see any. There's no
Isn't there-
deductions. There's zero deductions here.
Don't you have DocuSign? Sorry.
Oh,
If it's paperwork, then I love shuffling papers.
there you go.
Oh my God, Fairvilla does have DocuSign.
Amen.
A whole-
Quote of the show.
Just hit the mouse a bunch of times.
Okay, so wait a minute. So this is great. It sounds like you guys have a good sex life. You have good communication that's improved over the last couple of years. You're really working at it, not jumping into self problems, giving yourself a timeout, trying to address things. All of this is good. You're still horny for each other. I want to know where, if anywhere, are you guys getting stuck? Like, what's challenging for you? What could you work on? Every couple's got stuff, and it might be different for each of you.
Outside of the distance, the most challenging would be the arguments. We had bigger arguments when we first were together than we do now because we do listen to each other better. We do take the time to, she's mad, but might not be exactly my fault, but if it is my fault, I'll own up to it and say, yes, I can see how my actions might cause you to want to go to a timeout. So we went from being both spicy to being more adults when we communicate.
And we're both Leos too, so that doesn't help the situation.
I have a Leo child, so I get that.
It makes me happy
Yeah.
that you guys are taking this seriously, and because it does appear that, contrary to what Tom said earlier, that you guys are going to work out really well.
I agree.
Because you already are, it sounds like to me.
I think they have so many great ingredients.
And this is, I feel like, the best couple we could have ever started with by zooming people in here is one that shows people that you don't have to be perfect, but you can, like, because I'm just looking at you guys, and obviously I know you guys, but they're just calm. You know, they're just like, this is working. This is fine.
And they've worked at their relationship. I love hearing that you're both spicy. You're both Leos, right? You're both passionate, because I'm a fiery person too, even though I'm a Libra, which I never think that makes sense for me. But side note,
I'm a Gemini. I'm crazy.
oh, well, that makes sense. But I love hearing that, you know, you used to get more stuck in your arguments and maybe they weren't going well, because I think that's really human. We have to learn how to fight well. That's a skill. And as we develop as individuals with our own emotional maturity, we can really do that best in relationships. We have better and better relationships when we're willing to listen. We can accept feedback. We take a time out when we need it. He also said he apologizes, even if he didn't do anything wrong. If she's hurt, she's hurt. That's the impact. We're caring about the impact and taking accountability. These are really good relational skills, which makes me give them a high mark. I want to know what you're thinking grade-wise, because you started out saying, Tom, I'm going to say whether this couple has a higher grade than me.
All right. Well,
all right. Nothing to see here.
Well, you know, I look at this like a job interview. If I'm the CEO and you come in, you're not going to tell me all the truths. You're just going to
butter me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tom's like, they automatically have worse relationship than their reporters.
Well, I'm saying, I hear a lot of your worst skill is you're too hard of a worker here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you're telling me, you know, I'd have to really dive deep in there, read some emails.
Tell me your greatest weakness. My greatest weakness is having all strengths.
Yeah. I want to know.
One of those guys.
I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
Hire me.
This will tell me a lot. Yeah, my last question, and we're running out of time, so this may be the last question, is how much do you talk a day when you are apart?
Each one.
Yeah, we always talk usually in the morning when I'm going to work, after work, and then we talk before sleep. We try to do Zooms at times when we can, just to make sure we see each other's face. But yeah, we talk at least close to three to four times a day on average.
I don't talk to my husband that much.
Yeah,
I don't talk to my husband once all day.
I don't either.
even know where he is, what he's doing. He could be in a motel somewhere.
I do not
performing paperwork oral sex on something.
I have the same
Papers.
thing. I have the same pushing papers is what I call it.
I mean, the joke's on me if I make this joke, and that's what's happening. I don't think so.
My
He's a
wife,
good-looking guy too.
my wife also calls me 4 to 5 times a day. So your relationship is a C like mine. Let Dan have it right. Yeah. Dan's a Tom for sure. 5 times a day, your
But
wife's
they're
calling me.
It's going
prioritizing.
up.
They're
3,
prioritizing
4,
the
5.
relationship, right? They're making time in a
Yep.
busy
But
life.
just even if it's just 3 minutes to say, you know, I've got meetings or I've got errands to run or whatever it is we're doing, it's a check-in. It's a, hey, have a good day. I love you.
Aw.
We'll talk later when we have more time.
Yep.
That's sweet. I
It's
like
beautiful.
You're telling me meaningless information about her going to
Yes.
the grocery store,
Yes,
picking up the kids. Well, no S.
Yeah,
I'm
it's on the
doing it every
schedule.
day.
Yeah, you're supposed to be doing it. Here's an idea. Call me if you don't do it.
And to your point, though, I just want to say about this couple, you know, whatever the case may be, every couple has challenges. But it's not that they're not going to bump up against stuff or have hardships or annoy each other or have an adjustment when they live in the same place. These are just human issues. But what I'm saying that gives them a good grade, in my opinion, as a couples therapist, is that I hear things they're doing as a habit, skills they're using and habits they have in the relationship that will serve them when they do have problems. Yeah. So it's not so much what are your issues and are you long distance or not, or, you know, how long have you been together? It's the habits you bring to the relationship. Do you make it a priority? Do you take accountability? Do you listen when your partner shares feedback? Do you validate their emotions? These are the kind of things that will let you navigate whatever comes up.
Well, Dan, Shanna, thank you so much
job,
for
guys.
Thank you guys.
being our
What's our grade, Tom?
No, I'm putting you. I'll give you a C plus. So
Oh,
you
come
are a
on.
one,
Oh, come on.
a little bit better than me.
BS.
Did you hear? Did you hear how Colette waited? She's like, "This is my opinion as an actual, real, certified." Like she waited her. So just
I'm
listen
gonna
to what
give them
Colette
an
says.
A. Based
she's
on
giving
this
them an A.
interview,
Yeah,
I'm
they get
gonna
an
give
A.
them an
Yeah,
A.
suck it, Tom.
We need to all hear this.
Hey, it can't be an A. A is the highest.
They are an A.
An A plus is inachievable. You see what I'm saying? You cannot even get that. No, you have to be a god.
Great job, guys. We'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right. See ya. See ya. Be good.
All
All
right.
right, bye.
There they are. They
That's
did
it.
a great job.
First relationship interview. If you want to be interviewed on Love Thy Neighbor, email us at hello@lovethyneighborshow.com.
Boom.
And we'll get you. We've got a bunch of other couples that want to be interviewed.
We
so
do.
Can't wait.
We'll work them out every once in a while. I like, but I like talking to different people, and
They were
it was
great.
They were so great. It was so fun.
And again, The Cost of Quiet, Colette's book. You can get it anywhere books are sold. Amazon, order it, get the audio book. And
That's what I'm listening to. You will enjoy it.
Thecostofquiet.com.
Yep.
It will help you communicate and have better, deeper connection.
Absolutely. And Colette reads it. She's actually reading it, which really does make a difference. So
It
if you
does.
like her on the show, you'll love the book.
And we will be back next week.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, we'll go on to the second one. Let me pee.
That was fun.
Yeah, you always do a great job.
Are we on air?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Do you need time to say something mean? Oh, no, I'm kidding. No, that's my job. I'm the mean guy.
Okay, wait. How much time do I
You
have?
have plenty of
run?
time.
Let me just run to the
Yep,
bathroom.
yeah, plenty
Okay.
of time.
I'll run next door.
You got
so
it.
That,
I will save
and
this.
now I'm scared to go in your bathroom.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine, Mike. I said, don't listen to anything I ever say. 3, 5, 26. That's Love Thy Neighbor. 1, 43 minutes. Split. Dan and Shanna did a great job. Orchestra left. Awesome. I forget where we are. I don't even know where our seats are, but glad to help out. I'm glad you got your seats. That'll be fun. You know what I keep thinking about? Only you would care about this, really, Christine. Not too many other people would know. Oh, we're orchestra, right. Okay, great. Well, thanks for checking with the boss. But, you know, I'm still getting my pedal steel guitar from Del Mullen's company, even though he recently passed away. I actually think because it's in production and I'm still getting it, there's something kind of cool and weird about getting it like the year he passed, or like it's like the last coming out of the factory, which is kind of cool. It's a Mullen Discovery. I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty excited about it. She went to use the restroom. I'm gonna go do the same thing. We're still on. All the mics are hot. Just in case she comes back and doesn't realize.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
Yeah, that was good.
It was good. It was good.
And there was a ton of funny jokes in there.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
All right.
Now, when will
We're-
this episode be on? Because I
Tonight.
have a couple. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we are live still, so the
Okay.
mics are on.
Okay. Good
But
to
yeah,
know.
this
good
will
to
be
know.
tonight, and we'll record them in succession. So then this will be next week.
Great. And then we have
and
one
then
for the
one
week
more,
after.
Yeah,
'cause
we'll try
then
to
I'll be in
squeeze in.
California.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So
awesome.
I think we'll be good if we'll get this one done. We'll end it about like right at 40, and then just start the next one.
Perfect, because
And-
I have a 12 o'clock.
Yep.
It's not a therapy session, so if I have to be 5 minutes late, I can, but ideally I'd be there on time.
We'll
If we can make it happen.
yeah, we'll make it
okay.
happen.
Amazing. I
So-
went on Jim Colbert last
Oh,
night.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I
Did that
love
go well?
him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love all of them there.
Yeah, they're good, yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. No, Jimmy's easy to talk to, and he's a pro. So it's like it's very comfortable to just have a
And
conversation
they have
with
great relationship insights.
yeah,
like they
yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with what they say and the questions they ask.
They're a
and
more mature show than we are.
I
Jimmy.
love us and our immaturity.
No. That's me and Daniel's.
No,
that's
we're
all
more
we
of a
are.
dessert show than they are.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. They'll talk politics and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't
I
want to
mean,
talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about politics.
The last time I was
Bleh.
on there, they were asking me about ice and stuff. I was like, "Well, you threw me off my answer." Because
I'd rather talk about oral sex personally.
because I'm like, I'm not
Talk
used
about
to
Weird Al Yankovic.
So I was like, I was trying to come up with something like.
I'll give you an endless list of dumb shit to talk about. Video games, Weird Al Yankovic,
I'm all for it.
new toothpaste flavors, the Wendy CEO.
I have to say, at some point, we have to like go back to this whole men not liking performing oral sex.
Oh, I love it. I have no problem
No,
with
no,
it.
Okay,
no,
but
yeah,
you're okay.
I
all
like
right.
it. No,
Yeah,
we
I
were
have no
just.
problem with it.
You're seriously just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything I
you
say.
might like blow my mind.
No,
here.
everything I say
No.
is a ridiculous. He knows, because he's it's
Yeah.
a curse. Because I don't think I can say anything truthful.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
But I like making people laugh.
Oh yeah, white guys love it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And DJ
Khaled
Khaled
hates it.
he says he does,
says
but
he doesn't do it.
But
I mean, there definitely are guys, but for the most part, men like it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think for the most part,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
can't
it's
say for
cl-
the most part that women love doing the other
No,
thing.
no.
Right. It doesn't
I
work
can
both ways
say
on
for-
that one.
Well,
I'm just realizing I talked
know
about
why?
having sex on an airplane on air. Like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, it's.
no, our show you can get away with
He
it.
pooped his pants on an airplane.
No, what the hell? What?
Did you? Did
no,
you?
it was oil.
What have I
It was
done,
just oil.
Melissa?
Okay,
what have
that
I
is
done?
way worse.
Melissa.
Poop my pants. Jesus Christ! Why? What the hell?
Oopsie.
That did not happen.
A businessman does not shit his pants on an airplane in Germany.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's do it. We gotta
Let's
record.
do it. Detail. Okay, stat.
Okay.
We gotta go fast.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'll start this one. Here we go. In 3, 2. It is another Love Thy Neighbor show. I'm Dan Dennis.
I'm Tom Van, and Colette Jane Fair is on the couch with us. How you doing, Colette?
I thought I was maybe gonna get to introduce myself.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the show where we don't let ladies do nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have let you introduce yourself. I don't know why.
I'm just teasing you.
Okay, so
What do you want to do here, buddy? Because we got a lot that we could go to, or
Well,
what do you got on your mind?
a couple. Let's do a couple celebrity things.
Ooh,
here.
yes.
Because so first off, and if you're listening to this on the radio or podcast, then this happened a week ago. But Britney Spears got arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even know this.
Oh yeah,
I'm living
it did.
under a
Yeah,
rock.
Wow.
it just happened. It literally
Yeah,
like
it's
hours
literally
ago.
it could be considered breaking news. It's now TMZ got it first, and they don't really have any details, no mugshots or anything yet. But it was 9:30 p.m. last night. There's no blood alcohol level, any of that. But yeah, DUI, straight up DUI.
I'm not surprised, sadly.
Yeah. So what when you see, I'm sure Colette, you've seen Britney Spears videos and
Yeah.
you know about the conservatorship and that whole thing that happened. And so what? I'm just curious on your opinion about Britney Spears.
Like what I think is happening with
Yeah,
her?
yeah,
'Cause,
like
okay.
yeah, you know whether like you know the conservatorship and then if you know about those
Yeah, I do.
things and then like how they work normally and like and why people perceive that as like hey they're controlling you and you know
Yeah.
like and the uproar against it and now there's none of that and then it seems
And
like
look what's happening.
she's having troubles.
So I think my first instinct was that when people felt like she was really being exploited and taken advantage of and had lost agency in her whole life, and there may be truth to that. You know, nobody knows behind the scenes whether or not the conservatorship was really warranted. Now from what we're seeing, and I always have the caveat as a mental health professional, you know, even though we're here for entertainment, that you can't diagnose or analyze anyone through a 2-second social media clip. So I don't want to do that. But of course, I'm a human being with an opinion. And when I see these videos of her dancing around, she doesn't seem okay to me. Now, does that mean that she needed to lose all rights to her finances and her, you know, I don't know. It does seem like she needs help. And when I look back, when I was younger and Britney was really, really out there in mega stardom, and remember she shaved her head, and there were a couple things that went on with her that I look back on now. I wasn't a therapist then and think, she may be somebody who's struggled with mental health issues always, as many of us do, and didn't get the help she needed. It's also really hard to become mega famous at, 18, 19, 20 years old. And that can take a huge toll on your mental health. But I worry for her. And now that there isn't this conservatorship, who's helping her? Does she have good people on her side? Does she have support? I don't know, but I hope she does.
So speaking of like being a child star, and I saw this with like Bam Margera, where it looked like he got stuck in a teenager
Frozen in time.
Like and then never matured after that. Like he never turned into a middle-aged man, and like he was just stuck as a teenager from when they got famous. And I've heard about that before, and I bet that happens to non-celebrities too, where you kind of get stuck in the personality of a young person even when you're old.
Hello?
What?
Looking at you, Tom, getting frozen in adolescence.
I get to work. Outside of this, I am not talkative, very stone cold. I've had no fun.
Outside of this, I am a very serious and grumpy adult. I will have you know.
I am an angry 14-year-old who's very serious.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny, Colette, is that
Oh man, the ratings on these last episodes where Colette is pushing back against us have never been better.
I'm like
never been better.
Tom.
No, they've never been better. You're giving me crap about eating it. You're giving it and they love it. They're eating it up, man. They're loving it. So keep doing it.
Yeah, you need to push back.
Doing it.
I hope you guys know I love you.
No, I know.
And I think you're so mature, Tom.
Trust me, we are tough creature people. You can't. We're fine. You don't worry about us.
We realize
get us good. You get us real good.
When we went to your book release, we're like, oh my God, this is how adults do events.
Did you hear any of those shows that we talked to secretly about your? Have you heard any of that?
I'm like,
we did not belong there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm looking around. I didn't even know how to do valet. I'm like,
But
valet.
meanwhile, so many people told me how much you guys made the night. I've been meaning to tell you that. So many people told me how great you were, your vulnerability, that you were so professional, that you were really self-deprecating, which people love that.
One of Maisie's dance
You guys
moms
were
was there,
authentic.
and she came up and told my wife. I don't want to put her on blast, but she was like, hey, I just want to tell you something. Dude, this is serious. And this helped me. Remember the last show we were talking about getting help in the bedroom?
Yeah.
The lady said to my wife, your husband, he's just so vulnerable, and he was up there just sharing it.
Wow.
That is just so great. And my wife, I got points.
You
for
got
that,
points.
Buddy. I got points.
Okay, I heard feedback like that about you guys too. My mom was like, I just love
your
Tom
mom.
and Dan.
Your mom is
Like
great.
she went on and on
so
and
sweet.
on. I mean, everybody loved you guys. So I know we joke. You guys are incredibly
keep pushing back,
intelligent, and you were very much like the selling point of the book launch.
Well, thank you.
Just have
We
to
will
tell
take
you.
the compliment. We appreciate it.
But and so I noticed this literally in the past month or so, where it's that where I'm very like all I do is jokes on the show, and and like everything's funny and whatever. And then I was going home and like trying to be a dad. And then I was like, okay, I want my sons to see strength, and I want my sons to see hard work and work ethic, and I want them to. And then I get like that where they just knew me from like, oh, hard work, and I'm always preaching grit and like pushing, like because I'm thinking like that's what I want my sons to have or whatever.
Right.
But then I was not doing no fun or comedy with them, and then I started doing that a little bit and making them laugh, and we were laughing at the dinner table, and like I was being more of doing what I'm doing on the show to them, and I'm like, man, I'm getting way more out of this.
Yeah.
Like
Welcome to my world,
and then-
buddy. Welcome to my way.
And they were responding better, where they liked funny comedy dad.
Oh, yeah.
And the grit, hardworking dad, they were kind of
That
like
guy sucks.
yeah, that does
I
like,
know that guy. He sucks.
Drill
Comedy,
sergeant.
I love Comedy Tom. Comedy Tom's awesome, but Business Tom,
Yeah. But I'm confused because I see these guys like Shaq's stepdad, which I will talk about, where he's a drill sergeant. And he taught him so much about respect.
I
and
have
hard
met that
work.
man many times. He's a hard-working
And-
American veteran.
Yeah, but then I'm like, I wonder what the relationship is. It was like, okay, this guy's a hard ass, and then he taught me a lot of things, but it's not fun. And I'm like, I want my sons to have a fun relationship with me and like laugh with me.
Let me ask you this, because it ties perfectly in. I'll go with Colette first. Then, what kind of relationship do you have with your dad? Was he fun dad or business dad?
Both.
Both?
I think both. Like,
My dad was full fun dad.
Yeah. See, I mean,
Jokes ahoy for my dad, and I cherish it. It's literally, dude. It's probably one of my all-time most. I'm gonna cry. It means so much to me, Fun Dad. So if you're doing that for your boys, that gets me. That makes me like, I'm like, oh, you're gonna get me, because that I love thinking about my dad's humor.
And can we add to this too? Because I've seen it. Vulnerable Tom also having, as men, we first of all, grit's really important, and I think modeling a work ethic, and I think as parents we do have to have some, we're guiding people, we're developing people to live successful lives. So there should be ideally space for all of this, the fun, the jokes. That's how you bond with somebody, and humor is healthy and useful. It just can't be humor all the time unless we're on the show, right? There also has to be develop yourself as a person. Let me guide you in life. And then there's got to be vulnerability. And as men, you guys as fathers, you have the unique opportunity to teach your children that men can be strong and vulnerable. This is how they're going to have good relationships as adults, if they can actually talk about their feelings and open up. And you both have done that multiple times on this show. You did it at my book launch, and you have it in you.
Yeah.
We just need to keep saying it to ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
Reps.
like
We need reps. We need more. We need to take our language, which is rep language, and apply it to Colette's language, which is, I mean, all of this stuff. Everybody, would you agree? Can I make this statement accurately? Everything in your book, everybody can do.
Absolutely.
It's an impossible to say I can't, to hold the cost of quiet up and say like I can't do this. That is a lie.
Yes, that's 100% true. And in fact, I'll go one degree further, that it is really the principles I'm advocating for that are simple. You know, saying what's true for you, sharing your feelings, being authentic, addressing things. This is actually what we're designed to do as human beings. What's happened is that we've been hurt in our lives. We've been through stuff. We've had bad relationships. We've had traumas. And so we've gotten protected and scared. But if we start to really connect to ourselves again and we show up more real in our relationships, the stuff I'm advocating for is not only possible, it's natural, and this is how we live better lives. This is about enjoying your life more. It's not be vulnerable for your partner. It feels better for you. Once you do it, you're going to experience that.
my wires are so crossed that I can only do it on the show or in like a
but at
live
least you can
audience.
do it. But
Right.
that's
I mean,
okay.
you have a
don't do it at-
therapist pushing you a little.
Yeah, but
I
I would
don't do
argue
it with my wife or my kids at home. Like no vulnerability.
Yet.
Yeah,
I
no,
see
yeah,
it sometimes with you when you and I are talking. I'm not going to say any particulars, but when he and I are having dad talks, as I will frame them, we are vulnerable about certain things, and I'm not going to allude to any. That is a private
you're
thing
right. I
with
guess
me
you're
and
right.
T. But you,
I'll tell it.
you do it, and I do it, and there are certain things that, and it is important to us. But I would argue that even the little bit of work that you're doing with Colette, doing it on the show, doing it at the book launch, however you want to frame it, is probably a step further than a lot of people that can't even do it at all.
Yes. And they can't do it just because they haven't yet experienced that it feels good. So if your whole life you grew up with people who didn't make it safe to be open and honest about how you're feeling or what you're wanting or needing, then of course you don't think this is a good idea. And there's long been this societal construct that men should be strong and silent. I even saw a famous therapist who I will not name, but very well known, saying, oh, you know, women, we tell men we want them to be vulnerable, but then when they're vulnerable, we punish them. I'm sorry. I've been doing my job for a long time. That is not what I know that perception's out there. This therapist is not in the trenches working with people day in and day out like I am. I have men who are general contractors, construction workers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, engineers. And when they open up in an authentic, genuine way, their partners love it. Absolutely love it, receive it. They see them as strong. They feel closer.
Is that
It's
naturally?
sexy.
Is that that's woven into the human fabric, right? That
Yes.
is almost an.
We are supposed to do
on
that.
a almost on a
Evolutionary
Thank you.
level. Yes.
That's what I was looking for. An evolutionary level. It's like when you are presented as a human with another human's authenticity, truth, whatever. Then automatically you're receiving the message better.
Yes, and that
Yes.
is what you're right. It's biological. This is a biological imperative. We are pro-social herd animals. We are wired for connection. We're meant to form close, safe bonds with other adults, and we need that to survive and thrive. We know from the research that the number one predictor of a long, happy life is the quality of connection in your relationship. So we've got all this stuff that's in the way of this now that we've got to unpack. And part of it is not just society. Part of it is that there's kind of this paradox where on the one hand, we're wired for connection. On the other hand, we're wired to fear anything that jeopardizes connection, and conflict, even though it's actually good, feels like a threat to connection. So we don't want to open up because we fear judgment. We fear getting in an argument that damages the relationship.
Right.
We all fear rejection and abandonment. But I'm telling you that if you don't have to be a blubbering puddle on the couch, but if you're telling your wife, when that happened the other day, I felt a little worried that maybe you see me as a failure, or maybe I'm not good enough in your eyes.
It's
And
like you pulled that right out of Tom's phone. like, right? Is that accurate?
Big Brother is watching
My
you.
God. Look at
Right?
that.
And
Surveillance.
people respond to this naturally because of what you said, Dan. Vulnerability invites vulnerability, and this is how we're supposed to connect as people.
Well,
It's
speaking
funny too. Yeah, no, I was just thinking when you said vulnerability, what
Invites vulnerability.
Invites vulnerability is almost like the exact opposite, but it is the same as like iron sharpens iron. Like those type
Exactly.
of things.
And if you show someone your protection, if you armor up, you're going to get their protection and you're not going to be close.
Well, speaking of connection and vulnerability, let's hear from Shaquille O'Neal. When he was on a podcast, I ran into this. I was searching a relationship.
Open up to a woman?
Oh, sorry. I stopped it. I'm sorry.
Where are we going?
Okay, so
I can't wait to hear.
Open up to a woman.
So Shaq was on some sort of podcast, and now there's so many podcasts. I don't know who, but like these people are talking to Shaq, so they must be huge. I have no idea who they are.
They may
Never
not be.
heard
This
of
could
them.
be his cousin.
yeah,
First
yeah.
episode.
You're right.
Shaq's cousin.
You're right. It could be Shaq's cousin.
a favor for my cousin.
Yeah, it could be Shaq's cousin or some young podcasters
Could be anybody.
that have millions of followers no one knows anymore. But he's on a podcast and he's talking about opening up to your wife or your partner. And this is what Shaq has to say.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Your whole life.
They gonna tell you can't.
Because you know why?
But it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped
No.
like a motherfucker.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're going to throw it back in your face. That's why.
Real.
That's why. So you can't ever.
That's why you crack it. Your dad left.
Yeah.
Thank
Did
you,
he
Shaq.
say? Did you hear that one guy at the end? He says, "That's why you crackers got it bad."
No, he
He
cried.
said your dad left you.
I thought he said that.
Because Shaq's biological father left the family.
He did.
And then he's like...
That's when he wrote.
So this is why.
He wrote the hits rap song "Biological Didn't Bother."
And then
Remember that song?
he was raised
outstanding.
by his stepdad that adopted him, who was like a drill sergeant, and he attributes a lot of his success to that. So, but anyways, I guess Shaq mentioned on the podcast that he never opened up to a woman. So there's a lot to unpack here because I sort of
Oh, yes. I have thoughts.
Yes, yeah. I don't want to hear
Figured
this.
you might.
Because-
And it was also a perfect tie-in, almost like you knew
So-
how to host a show.
I know
dude.
how we went from Brittany,
Great job.
Brittany's DUI, and here we are
There's
at the
more
heart of vulnerability.
There's more coming out. Apparently, she's currently in the hospital.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
That's breaking
Maybe
news.
that's good though. Maybe
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah. Put her back in that. Get her dad back over here.
Yes.
Come on, we were wrong. We didn't have her.
So I had a lot of questions when I heard this clip because Shaq said he's never in his life opened up to a woman.
Does
right?
that surprise you? It doesn't surprise
No,
me.
it doesn't. But then I started thinking, I'm like, whoa, what's Shaq's definition of opening up?
Also, is he counting his mama?
Probably.
Like,
maybe. I actually probably not. But I wouldn't be shocked if he hasn't opened up to his mom either.
So, but what?
I think this is weird.
So is his definition of
I do.
Okay.
of opening up? A lot of men are like this. I grew up with,
But
a
I'm
lot of men
also a
like this.
hypersensitive guy,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why it's weird to me.
Yeah.
That is why it's weird to you. Because if you're over 40, most likely you were not, even maybe over 35, raised with anyone opening up to anyone. This is like a new idea that we're realizing this is normal.
Oh my God.
No,
I kissed my dad on the lips.
Yeah, but that is not typical.
Yeah.
That's lovely, but not typical.
My grandfather.
I mean, is it lovely?
And
I don't
stepdad.
know. It was long too. It was like 6-7 minute
Okay,
kisses. No,
scratch.
they were just peck kisses.
I've never
Kissing on the
heard
cheek.
how any men in my family were feeling one time in my
Right,
life.
right.
Like, they've never said even good or bad.
They
or
might as
anything.
well be
Nothing.
statues.
Yeah.
That- okay,
They're
hold
mad.
on.
That's normal.
They're
Can we-
feeling mad. I know
Can
that.
we pause for 1 second, because it is very odd to me for you as a man to say. It's crazy to think not your dad, not your granddad, not any man that's connected to you biologically has never told you how he's feeling ever.
No.
That's-
See, I find that very typical.
Yeah.
That's very and this
Why
is
would they say
why
that?
people
That's
need
not-
help with relationships, because people aren't used to doing
Yeah.
this.
So going back to Shaq,
Yeah.
he said he never opened up. And what I find funny about this is I'm like, well, what does he mean by
Right.
opening up? Like, he never even said, he's like, I feel sad today. like, he never.
He said that.
Or,
He said that.
and then, like, how would that be thrown back in your face? And or does he mean like some deep dark secret, like,
No.
I want to wear your panties, or like something like crazy that he's like hiding? You know, I'm like, what is that?
That is also opening up.
Or
yeah.
nothing. Like, he's never told his wife that he ever was like feeling bad
Or
today
said
or
you're scared
depressed
about
or
something.
scared. Yeah, that he's
Yeah.
like, I'm scared.
I've done that. I've done that with this company before, where I come on my tail end. I go, I gotta be honest with you, man.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
if we made the right
you're
decision.
emotional, you're communicative. I think you're more communicative and emotional than
Yeah,
some
I
people.
am.
You have access to that. I mean, okay, so first of all, this is something I hear a lot in
Okay.
therapy. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Of course, we'll never know exactly what Shaq's operational definition of opening up is unless we have him here.
He said nothing, like never said anything of like sad, happy, or like any
I'm
sort
guessing yes.
That's
I'm
crazy.
guessing yes. He's probably referring to not really being vulnerable about not only his emotions but his fears, doubts, and insecurities. So these are the things that men can be really afraid to fear. Like I threw out, I feel like I could be failing you or not good enough in your eyes. Those are two big themes that I hear often from men, and that men are often reluctant to share because they think it might make them look weak. Or I will hear from a lot of people, it will be weaponized against me in an argument that I've revealed this. And that feels like the worst thing in the world if your vulnerability is used against you. Now, here's the thing. Usually that interpretation, I'm not saying it doesn't come at all from the societal construct of men being strong, but often you've had somebody in your life who's done that. You've opened up to someone along the way and they've used it against you. And that's where you get that idea. Most of the things we fear now in our relationships are old wounds from either previous romantic relationships. It could be you were, not accepted on the playground in the first grade. It could be something from your parents. But that idea, so we're all a little afraid that our vulnerability could be rejected, or, we might be like, ew, why are you saying that? Or not met. But that specific, it's going to be used against me. Usually somebody's done that to you along the way, and you need the experience of having it go differently to realize that it's not always going to be that way.
Oh, that was me with cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do a comparative, and it would poison newer relationships.
Like you'd been cheated on, and then you'd bring that into.
Real quick, I'd been cheated on a bunch before Andrea, my wife.
Yeah.
So getting to that point with her, I would apply that same feeling to her, but she's not like that at all. And you would have to tell me. You knew that you didn't tell me. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? She is not like, what? You are a dum-dum.
Yeah,
and it's all in me.
Right.
So it was
but
just
that's
mine.
normal.
It's just like Shaq. It was his pathway, how he was brought up, shaped that next pathway, right? So,
Yeah.
public eyes since he was 17 years old, 16 years old. LSU, one of the biggest, if not the greatest center of all time. Always probably had his guard up to be taken advantage of. Why
and people
would you
probably
open up?
did try to take advantage.
He's
and
had relationships fail, has he not? Had baby mamas? I think so. So, I mean, I would imagine that is what he's telling the tale. He's telling his tale.
His I guess first wife was that super small
The
lady.
tiny girl. We
Remember
met
the
her many times.
Yeah, like super tiny.
At
And
the
that-
Roxy, we'd meet her all the time.
That was my first obsession with how does this work?
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this possible?
I'd watch the hell out of that.
Then I become
would
obsessed
watch.
with it.
Yeah.
although now for what we were talking about in the last episode, oral sex,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
So,
How
but
does that work?
With not to psychoanalyze Shaq here, but what's also interesting to me is that he forgoes telling his partner anything about how he feels, which is actually gets it off your chest. Sometimes, like, it's better for you, like, to have a partner you could like unload
We
something.
do it here. You and I do it about the business.
100%.
You know, so like if you have a rough day or you're scared about something or you feel like you're gonna fail or whatever, you're just talking it out.
That's
with your
actually
partner.
the point of a relationship
That's
as
the
an
partner
adult.
point, right?
The point is that human beings need other human beings and feel better when we share things.
Yeah, so he's willing to cut that all off, right?
100%.
Just because he's afraid of that person
Taking advantage.
You're using it against him in some way. Like, what the hell is that person gonna do to you, Shaq? Like, be like, I remember when you were scared of this one.
Yes.
You're so afraid of that you were willing to cut off all emotional contact.
Okay,
Like,
Tom,
that's
this is what you're saying right now. This is literally the entire thing of couples therapy. People are deathly afraid of that. And it's hardwired into our limbic system, which is our emotional nervous system, that we would put something out there and somebody would just step on us in that moment. It sounds crazy when you think about it practically. What's going to happen if you said that hurt me and somebody said, well, I don't give a whatever, right? You're going to die. It feels like death to people. And if you don't have what we call in psychology a corrective emotional experience, meaning you put yourself out there and somebody does receive you, and then your nervous system goes, oh, this isn't so dangerous after all. This feels good. I can turn to people when I'm sad and offload some of this and share it, and I feel better and we're closer. Until you have that corrective emotional experience, you remain unwilling to put yourself out
Protection
there.
response.
Yes. And you cut yourself off. This is the whole reason I wrote my book. You're starving yourself from connection by a mistaken belief that has its seeds of origin in earlier wounding times and isn't true all the time.
I wanted to ring a bell or something when you're finished, like, or stand up or clap, like
Yes.
Maury Povich
Let's
audience.
clap
and stuff
for
like that.
ourselves.
I don't know, but I like what you're saying. Okay, this all makes, and I think to a lot of people this makes sense. And then it kind of, when you say that, it kind of blankets society. And then I look at everybody, and you're correct. I look at all these people that like aren't anywhere in tune with any emotion, really. There are a lot of Shaqs.
There are a lot of Shaqs. And there are a lot of people who just are saying, you know what?
Tom's not a Shaq. I want to give
don't
him a
open up.
compliment. I do this on the show a lot. But you're better off than you even think, buddy.
Yeah,
You're
even the fact
doing
that
it.
Tom thinks
You're
it's
doing
crazy
it.
that Shaq would
He's
do this.
doing it with
Yeah,
his
yeah.
wife.
No,
He
I
does
know.
it with
Well,
his
this
wife
is-
all the time. And the partner thing he's been saying has been inspiring me to be more beneficial to my partner.
Yeah,
Having a good
well,
partnership is important.
So because
is.
I do look at reality, and I know this sounds stupid, but
you can preface it if that makes you feel better, but I don't think anything you're saying is stupid.
I agree.
Because I'm like, Shaq most likely will go his whole life, and it will be cut short because of his size. I'm sorry. But,
Yeah.
And because of his lack
You know
of
what,
human
that's-
connection.
You know,
Well, you're not wrong. That stuff does make you live longer.
Yeah,
It does. It's
that's
proven.
science.
It's
Like,
proven
yeah,
by
it
the
is.
Harvard study on adult
That's why when he
No,
says the partner thing, I go, if people would work on their marriage, you realize you're making both of you live
You
longer.
will live longer.
Yeah.
like no 90-year-old Shaq. Let's just get back to it.
It's called Great Dane's disease. It's called Great Dane's disease.
Just hey,
Me?
it ain't possible.
Oh, me?
Sorry.
Even I can do whatever I want. I'm a little dog.
But-
Warts and all, I'll live in a garage door will kill me.
But when I see like and Shaq
dog.
has obviously done well for himself and probably will go the rest of his life without sharing anything emotional with his partner ever, and then he'll die and that's it. And
Unless
that's
he
his life.
comes to see me.
Unless, yeah. and then I look at that
I
as
will not allow it.
that's kind of unfortunate.
It's tragic.
because he is like he's giving up something that it would probably benefit his life.
Would benefit his
Would
life.
benefit objectively his life, and he's missing out on this because of something that could be fixed.
I think it's almost in like the way you explain it. If it is science, if you're
is.
a math person, and it is science,
Yep.
then it
That's where clicker
then
means.
it has to benefit your life. There
Yes.
is
No, I
no,
know, yeah.
there's
Right.
no other
There's no
way
gray
out.
area.
There's no other way out.
And it's not woo-woo therapy stuff. It's really not. This actually, it's been studied over 85 years, the Harvard study of adult development, where they looked at people generations over their lifespan and found that the number one predictor was relationships of how long you lived, how healthy you are, how much well-being you enjoy. So when we're not connected in this way where we're sharing, it actually increases the risk of all kinds of disease, and people die earlier. It's been absolutely proven. So we're letting these ideas, or we got rejected once, or we had a manipulative person in our life. It's natural to feel a little afraid and to fear conflict, but you have to embrace it, and then you can experience what comes on the other side.
So Colette, let me ask you this, because I look at it just like, running, right? It's like you can't do it now, but if you start slow, eventually you'll build up and you'll be able to do it. It's just science.
Perfect
right?
analogy.
So then with this, and if you are like Shaq and you've never shared an emotion with your partner because you just never the way you lived, how do you start slow?
So you pick one. So this is a great question. You pick.
Hold on, I legally have to put the camera on him and back on you. Okay.
Okay, so you pick one small thing that bothered you, like on a scale of 1 to 10, something that's about a 2 or a 3, right? I'll give you an example from my own life of something that might seem so minor, but is a great place to start.
Okay.
I have a thing for noises. I have a real problem where I hate certain noises. It's called misophonia.
Oh.
And it's a whole psychological thing connected to anxiety where someone's phone being on speaker drives me crazy. I can't concentrate. I can't ignore the sound. So scraping on plates, this is going to make me sound nuts. My husband doesn't like how particular I am about noises because he's like, I feel like I'm in jail and I can't make any noises
Can't
without
scrape my
annoying
plates.
him.
I like plate scraping.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I feel like that too.
Yes. Okay.
I was
Right.
gonna
He's
say
like, if I
before-
chew loud, it annoys you, and I'm like, well, it does.
There
I
are
can't-
mystery sounds in Tom's houses that'll never be found. There are mystery odors, mystery wind. There's wind that'll
Everything's mildew
and drive you crazy.
Yeah, there's mystery stinks.
I can't even begin to imagine what that's coming from. But so this focuses on the noise. I've told my husband 50 times, don't use the glass plate with the metal fork. I'm aware that that's annoying. Okay, I get it. And I've even conceded I wouldn't love having my plate scraping policed either. But I've explained it really clearly and kindly as it pertains to this is an issue of mine, not a criticism of you. Could you work with me here? So the other day, he was eating something out of the glass bowl. It scraped really loud.
This mother.
I mean, I can feel it again,
This
right?
guy.
And
We're always with the scraping. My God.
He's doing it again. Are you in there eating ice cream?
Go eat outside.
I mean,
Go into the shed.
I'm intentionally picking something that makes me not look the greatest because it's human.
It's so honest, and I am right
Yeah.
there sitting side saddle with you because I got a lot of these.
Thank you. And so I felt I started yelling. I was like, why would you use that? I've said this 50,000 times.
This is so real. This is so real.
Yeah, and like, God, now I'm like in pain. I'm in agony. And he was like, all right, Jesus, right? You know?
Yeah.
And so then I had to, so this is something, it's a 2 or a 3, right? But I came back later, I processed it, and I thought about, why did I get so mad? Yeah, there was the noise, but there's a deeper theme, which is I feel like, this is my story, you don't always listen to me.
Oh my God! Where's my wife? Is she in the chat room?
Yeah.
Sorry, we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
This is so universal.
So exactly. So, and that's why I was really so upset. So this is the kind of thing that you could get curious about, something that bothered you, and come back and repair with someone. Like in my case, I looked at how I handled it and I shouldn't have yelled. It's not a good way to communicate.
So are you coming back to, sorry, not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
are you coming back and you're like, say, hey, that thing with the plate, you got a second?
Yes.
I want to kind of flesh this out. To
Yes.
use our language, I want to flesh out what happened yesterday with the plate thing, if you've got a second. That kind of a thing?
Exactly. And I start out by, so I always encourage people to do this. This is hugely important. Start by saying how important the relationship is to you and that's why you're making an effort to address something, right? We're not coming to get you in trouble because that's how we feel. It's really hard to take feedback from someone, especially someone you love. Coming and saying, hey, I want to bring something up. I'm only bringing this up because this relationship's really important to me and I want to be able to share with you and for you to know stuff about me and like what bothers me and understand me more deeply. That tends to be very disarming. Then I'm saying in this particular case, hey, I really yelled at you the other day and I did this. I am really sorry for how I acted. That you didn't deserve that. And I want to apologize. Full stop. No equivocating or
it
qualifying.
ends there, yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
then what I said to my husband, because he's out of town right now, is I would like to at another time talk to you a little bit about why I reacted that way and what's bothering me if you're open to that. And he said, he made a couple of jokes like, oh, I'm not going to get out of this without hearing more from you or whatever.
Round two of the old fork and blade.
But you know, it's okay to joke around a little. But he said, yes, of course, we can talk about it. And then this is what I think people need to understand. When we talk about it, I am coming to him. This is a short conversation, first of all. These communications should not be 30-minute, hour-long deep dives. That's exhausting. No one can take that in. And this is part of why people don't want to communicate. I'm going to come to him and say just simply, you know, I got curious about why I reacted so strongly. And I realized the deeper theme for me is that I have this story in my head in these moments that you're not really listening to me, that you don't really care about what bothers me enough to consider me. And that's what hurt my feelings underneath that reaction of anger. That's how we actually reveal our own inner world and give somebody the opportunity to hear us and know us more deeply. Doesn't guarantee they react well, but if you come this way, you're not criticizing, you're not accusing. I'm not saying, you know what, you rotten bastard, you don't care what I have to say, you don't listen to me, you're inconsiderate, and I'm sick of your... Right?
Right.
That I am not going to get into.
You know,
Right.
I just got horny.
But actually, okay.
I like it when my wife yells at me. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but I'm like, oh,
Okay,
stop him, stop
fair
him.
enough. If that's your kink, knock yourself out. But when
Have I been bad?
But when it comes to conflict, you joke, but actually it does scare people.
Yeah.
Our inner radar detects danger and we go into survival
Sure.
mode. But if I come instead and say, hey, you know, I've already apologized and I own that I got angry and I was angry, but underneath that anger, I was hurt, and I was hurt because I have a story. And this is naming that you have a story is very different from projecting the story onto someone like the truth. If I say you don't listen, you don't care, immediately someone's going to get defensive. If I say, you know, I was hurt underneath my anger and my mind makes meaning. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it feels true to me.
Sure.
It's my story that you don't really listen or care or consider me. Then that other person has some space where they can actually hear it.
Can I ask you about that? Because I do this, and this is great. Is it just by declaring it, by saying, hey, you did it better than saying, hey, this makes me feel this way. I don't really want to do that, but like, I like the idea of saying, hey, I already have this pre-engineered narrative in my brain.
Yes.
That I'm kind of going along with. And when I get in these episodes of what's happening, it amplifies that.
It seems like evidence of it.
It almost disconnects me from it because it almost makes it feel not as real. Is that how it's supposed to sort of work?
Yes, and this is this is one of the biggest problems in communication and relationships is that we're constantly making up, I call it in my book and in couples therapy, the negative partner story. And it's usually really based on our own personality, our own history, the way your partner triggers you with their behavior, what they say or do or don't do, but the way you react is all your own. It's based on you and who you are. So obviously my interpretation that you don't really listen and you don't consider me in these moments with the stupid glass bowl and fork.
It's a story we've written.
Yes, I feel like it's true. I mean, even as I say it now,
Right.
emotionally, it
I'm
feels
with
true
you.
to me.
Yeah, I'm
because
on board.
if you tell me that something bothers you, I'm not going to do it. You know, but my husband, it doesn't mean he doesn't care.
Right.
It feels like it, but that's my story. And every time you don't address a small thing and talk about it from a self-focused perspective and repair it and clear up the misunderstanding, your negative story gets truer and truer and truer. Right. And before you know it, years have gone by of unaddressed things. And you really believe my partner sees me as a failure. I'm not loved and supported. I'm not good enough as I am. They don't care. They don't listen.
But you've amplified that internally.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's closed circuit at that point. The cost of quiet. It always comes back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's why
man.
we have to communicate, because we're constantly hitting each other's raw spots, stepping on each other's toes, and misinterpreting one another. And we've got to clear these things up.
So, Colette, and I'm not saying this is me, by the way. So, don't think I'm
Don't
talking
read
about my wife.
into it. Yeah.
But let's just
Keep
say
my wife's name out your mouth. Will Smith.
Oh, we should talk about Will Smith.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but let's
I
just
think
say,
he's a gay Scientologist. Do I win a prize?
let's just say, what if you think that your partner is sensitive enough that if you give them any criticism whatsoever, they're going to take it like a personal stab in the heart.
Yeah.
And then it's going to cause anger, and then, maybe like, days
You talking about
of them.
me or your wife?
I'm talking about both of you.
No, this is a huge
I
thing.
think
so
I've
then-
gotten way better with my stab in the heart.
So
I
then-
really do. I think I've
So
gotten
then
way
you just
better.
don't tell them nothing because it's easier for me.
Right. Yeah, wait, that's the premise of my book. That is what most people feel to some degree. So first of all, it is really hard to take feedback, even if you're not sensitive. It is. It's hard to hear that someone is upset with you, disappointed in you, doesn't like something you've done. And this is why, coming into the conversation, I'm going to tell you about me and my reaction and how I felt and what I think. You're taking the focus off the other person and whether they're doing anything right or wrong. That helps them to hear it. And this is hugely important to your point, we have to fire ourselves from being responsible for other people's reactions. All we can do is show up and be clear and be kind and take the risk to be vulnerable about our feelings. And then other people are going to react the way they react. Now, part of it is you've got to get more comfortable with the fact that maybe you say it perfectly nicely and your wife or your business partner gets upset, and that doesn't feel great, but you're an adult and you can survive that. That's part of your own growth edge of
And they can
emotional
too.
maturity.
And we can too. I'll
Yes.
put myself in there too. We can handle it.
Oh, man, I get so mad. I was kicking around things.
Yeah.
But we also
punching the drywall, I'm slapping the cat
But
around.
we also can come back to someone and say, hey, a couple of times I've come to you and tried to bring some feedback, and I've taken great care to say it kindly, and still it seems that you get very upset with me. And then we talk about the behavior. You yell at me, or this is what I notice, and it's making it hard for me to feel as close to you as I'd like to be, because when I share feedback, it typically doesn't go well. Can we talk about that? Get some input. A lot of people haven't done their own work, and some people can't hear anything, to your point, no matter how you say it, but you owe it to yourself to be expressing what bothers you.
Because it's for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's for you. And it's really important.
And then not saying it is way more costly than saying it will ever be, right?
Exactly.
In your
Because
experience.
you develop resentment, and actually it makes you sick.
Again, for you.
Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah.
It's for the relationship and the possibility of deeper connection, but it's ultimately for you and your own health, physical, mental, and emotional.
Well, let's call it an episode. Again, The Cost of Quiet. Collect Jane Fair's book.
Yes, sir.
You can get it anywhere where books are found.
And leave a review.
Yeah.
That really helps out.
Thank
Like
you.
I think you'll enjoy it. I'm on maybe chapter 6 now. I think. Or so
Yay.
yeah, I'm making good progress. Pretty good progress for an overly busy guy. Try it. You'll like it. And I'm actually listening to the audiobook that is read by Colette herself. So try that. I think you'll dig it.
Oh my gosh, thanks, Dan. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, I very much like it.
Hold on, I'm going to listen to it too. I just haven't got to it. This guy's got more time.
Tom's like, I'm in on this.
I do have more time.
Hey,
I do.
a couple podcasts, some sports came out again, so I had to listen
Well,
to
I
that.
get home and my daughter,
Yeah.
no one's there. I get
Yeah.
home, no one is there. So I can put it in an
Same with
audiobook
me.
and
Tom
just
gets a
sit
pass.
there
Tom
quietly.
Yeah,
but-
I'm going to
yeah.
run. I'm start listening to it. I'll be there. You can thank me too later. I was just saying, this guy's trying
But
to
I
show me
make
up.
all this stuff we're talking about very simple and actionable, and that's why there's value in the book.
And
Like,
there's
I
good
want
examples.
Yeah,
you
that
can,
you'll
like,
relate to.
You'll find somebody and you'll be like, oh, I do that.
So next week, we're going to do listener emails,
Yes,
the whole
sir.
show.
Yes.
And so we'll see you next week.
All right.
Cool. Now we'll just hammer through some emails.
Perfect.
4:30,
Do
and then
I
we're
have
good.
time to pee real fast?
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry.
Everybody's got time to pee, and then because this one we
Gotta
could
have
do,
time to pee.
Gotta have
we could do 30 and then be fine because me and Daniel could add the extra. And that worked last time. Like when we were talking about, we got a bunch of submissions to get couples in the future. So
Great.
we'll just mix that in every once in a while.
I think that's a great thing to do. And people really relate to hearing other people's stories, you know?
Yeah. Because they already, and it gives us new jumping off points that,
Yeah, and that couple, like, they had a lot of good stuff. But to your point, you're also coming on, you're putting your best foot forward.
But of course, I mean, they're, like they're willing to share. That's hard enough for people to get on a show.
I agree.
That so many people are listening to, and
talk about your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also wanted to really validate that I genuinely heard so many things that were really good that they're doing that are good relationship habits.
Yeah.
It's funny to that point. There's this big podcast that I think is also on the radio called Marriage Therapy Radio.
Okay.
With this guy, Zach Brittle, who's out in California. And, I don't know how the you know the podcasting world better than I do, but he's got like top numbers of audience. And he's a couples therapist, uses a very different approach from me. So when Penguin Random House was pitching me for podcasts for my book, I got on his show.
Okay.
And he said, we'll have you on to promote The Cost of Quiet, but only if you come on with your husband and talk about your own marriage.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and my husband was like so freaked out. It was such a big deal. And of course, I'm talking about the ridiculousness and the intimate details of my life, from airplane bathroom sex to my emotions all day, every day, everywhere. But for my husband, he was like, what do I say? And, the guy asked, how good is your marriage on a scale of 1 to 10? And I was like, you have to say that the marriage is better than what I say. And he's like, what happened to authenticity, Colette?
Yeah. Because you can't go 10. That's a saying.
No one's a 10. Look like you love
I'm ready when you are.
I love you.
A solid 8.5. That's what I would say.
Right.
I'm a politician.
That's what I made him say. Exactly.
Yeah. Colette's a politician.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Here we go. Emails is where it's at.
I can't wait.
And 3, 2.
Welcome to Love Thy Neighbor. I'm Tom Van.
I'm Dan Dennis.
And I'm Colette Fair.
We did it! First time.
I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to let me do it?
I jumped in there a little too early, too. I should have let you go first. Ladies first. I apologize.
I can be last.
My mom in heaven would be
if
very
I'm first
angry.
in everything else, I can be last in this.
My mom would still get mad about that. I mean, up to the last time we went to Outback, if I walked in before Andrea, not good. She good Southern mother, straight from Virginia.
I love that.
Do not mess that up.
All right, so we said last week we're going to do some listener emails. Let's get right into it. And again, if you want to email us, hello@lovethyneighborshow.com.
Yes, sir.
And you could ask us. And Colette, really, I mean, you're asking Colette. What are we going to do? We're not going to give you any good advice.
I mean, I could read the email to Colette. That's what I'll do.
We've gotten some good advice from you two, too, I have to say.
A little bit.
We have.
A little bit. And again, we will keep you anonymous. I'm not here to air out anybody's dirty laundry with your name attached. I just want to use your example to hopefully kick around ways that we can be better in our relationship.
Yeah, if you write about having sex in the airplane bathroom, we're not going to say who you are.
We will not.
We would never do that.
And here's one thing I will say. If you're going to write me to tell me, like, oh, I can't figure out how to brag about my wife, she's so awesome, I'm not going to read your email anymore.
Thank you.
All right, this one's entitled Negativity. Let's get into it. Hello, show. My wife and I have a reoccurring friction point. I'm generally a, quote, everything's fine optimist. She tends to focus more on what's wrong, especially about normal day-to-day stuff or people we're close to. When I've got to go to work, that kind of commentary drains me. I've told her that when she talks about things like that, it feels very negative to me. I internalize it as a problem. Whether she wants me to fix it or just listen, my brain treats it like something I need to solve, and it makes me anxious and tired. She says she doesn't want me to feel that way, but she also wants me to be able to express she also wants to be able to express herself from her perspective. And she says that I'm choosing to focus on, quote, the negative. So I kept a tally for a week to see if it was just me. it came out to 68% negative comments. By the way, this sounds like something you would do.
I love
like,
talking
I
to
will
Tyler.
apply math to this by doing a journal to prove her wrong. So I kept a tally for a week to see if it was just me. It came out 68% negative comments. When I showed it to her, she said,
never show her the tally.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
even read this far in.
Oh,
She
boy.
says, when I showed it to her, she said, quote, keeping a tally was crazy, which honestly might be fair. Any advice? P.S. We've been together 26 years, and we still do a 69.
Oh, wow.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did say that.
Oh my God, I
Or
love
did
it.
you, like, are you so, you've so repped into our show now, you have so many reps that the 69 part, you're like, Dan added that. What an idiot. No, he added that.
Okay, I totally
Because
thought you
they
added
have
that.
reps with me, and they know I want a 69, so they put it in there.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah, they know me. I love them. They love me. They
I'm like, Dan added that.
Let them eat a
bragging.
69. You know.
Okay, first of all, this is great because this speaks to what is happening in relationships that's challenging. We have two different subjective experiences that coexist at the same time. So people who like numbers and math and evidence, and I had a couple in my office the other day and they're pulling up the text. Did you actually say that? And I'm thinking, oh my God, you guys, if you realized how unimportant it was, what actually got said. The point is you're gonna was she negative? Is she just talking about her life? The truth is in the eye of the beholder. For him, it's too negative and it has an adverse effect. For her, it's just talking about her life and venting and sharing. You're going to find versions of this constantly in your relationship, and taking a tally to try to prove your point is a waste of time. So I don't want to invalidate the intent there, which is he's really trying to say, hey, this is more negative than you realize.
And there was an effort
This is
put
harming
in.
it.
Yeah.
Totally. And I love the way he described it. He's like, look, this is how it affects me. And I've tried to tell her. And I like that he said she's sympathetic. She doesn't want him to feel that way. And yet she also feels a need to share. So what does this couple do? Okay, first of all, we begin by acknowledging both things are true at the same time. She both has the right to share about her life in the way that feels natural to her, and he has the right to say, this is how I feel when you do this, right? It doesn't feel good to me. First of all, the brain is wired to be negative. That's normal. It's a survival response. It's better to fear the worst from a survival perspective and be wrong than it is to assume the best and be wrong. Then you die. So negativity, and some people have gotten through life by compartmentalizing, blocking things out. If you're negative with me all day, it's not going to affect me that much. This is probably why I'm a therapist. Like, I don't internalize, but this guy does. So this couple is going to have to get in the moment and have a real conversation and have some boundaries. It's going to be a case-by-case basis where they say exactly like what I was talking about in the last episode when I talked about how noises bother me, right? It's not an across the board. She can't be expected to know when he has the bandwidth to listen and when he doesn't. She's going to have to say things like, hey, I want to vent right now. Do you have the space for this? Or she starts venting and he's going to have to say, hey, I really care about your life and I want you to have space to vent. But right now, I need to be focused on work and I'm going to have a hard time taking this in. Can we talk about it later? They're going to have to work with who and how each of them are, have some acceptance, and navigate this on a case-by-case basis through good, explicit communication. Right? It's not a she should never be who she is and vent. It's not a he's wrong for thinking it's negative. What I love about this email is we're getting real insight into him, that it feels too negative for him. 68% of the time, his nervous system is struggling to take all of that in. That doesn't make her wrong and it doesn't make him wrong. They have to deal with that reality and come up with times and balances, checks and balances that allow them both to get their needs met.
And by the way, I would have rounded it up to 69%.
Me too,
as a
just for
joke.
fun. Just for fun. Plus, you put 69 in the end. Right, right.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah, have some continuity in your jokes, man.
My God, if it's 68,
Good
just put
Lord.
69.
You
Remember.
missed the lowest hanging fruit.
It really did.
Oh, I hit it every time. So I've got some advice for this gentleman, Colette, and you can tell me if this is bad advice or not, which it probably is.
Buy American.
If you say tune her out and pretend you're listening, I'm going to lose it.
Well, we'll get right back.
So it's not exactly that, but it's a version of that. And let me hold on.
How did I know?
So I
Just let her get it out. It doesn't mean anything.
Go to
It's
a
like
happy
taking
place
a
in your head.
verbal doo-doo.
Okay, so there is times, and I've felt this before. I know what this guy is dealing with because it goes back to solving the problem. And she's not wanting you to solve the problem. She's just wanting you to understand what she's going through. So it's like I've worked on that to the point where I realized, like, mid-conversation, sometimes my wife is talking or whatever, and I'm like, okay, what is this?
What is happening right now? Like she's yelling about something you hear talking. Where am I? Hello?
Where I have to figure, okay, this is not a problem-solving scenario. This is a listening scenario. So then when I turn my
Put on listening face.
Yeah, when I turn the problem,
My husband has that.
when the problem-solving brain off,
Yeah.
then it's a less emotional taxing to me, for whatever reason. So like with the problem-solving brain on, all this negativity and this things you're going through, it is emotionally taxing because I'm feeling it. I'm going through all these different solutions, and it's hard for me. So like that is a heavier weight than if I turn the problem-solving off and I just turn the listen to it and be like, man, that sucks.
No, you're
And
absolutely
then
right.
All
it's
right, man.
No, but if I just
Okay.
say that sucks and whatever, I'm not trying to solve the problem.
Yep.
She's just dumping it out. Then it's less emotional taxing for me. And
But it's you always do. You with me. You'll be like, "Are you done?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." You're like, "Okay, how did
My
that?"
husband
I
looks
gotta
like
get
a
on.
deer in the headlights.
I gotta get a hammer mouth later.
But see, this guy hasn't
He
learned to
doesn't
do
say
that
that.
yet. This guy hasn't learned to do
Okay.
that yet. And he said that. He said, I can't help but internalize it. So is that his own work to do? Probably, right? Learning to be able to, and we don't know his history. He may have been the one in the family that was the people pleaser that made everybody happy. I mean, there are complicated reasons. It's not so easy for everyone to just say, okay, I'm going to turn it off.
Okay.
But
It's
I
not
do
easy
think,
for me either. I mess it up all the time, and it's hard every time. But
It is hard.
But I every once in a while,
You're trying, though.
Yep.
I've done it, and I was like, oh, that was way better doing it that way, and it was like, and it was less stress too because like, hey, it's not my. She's just telling me her problems, not my problem.
Exactly.
But,
And
you know,
that's
should
the
yell that
way.
in her
That's
face.
the
Not
way
my
to.
problem.
But that's the way to
And
narrate
then
it.
spike a volleyball on her head.
That's the way to narrate it. And I think my husband's made a lot of progress on this too. Now, sometimes he does look genuinely like a deer in the headlights. And I think he is secretly like, are you done? Are we almost done? Is this over? Am I done listening?
Yeah.
But he's learned to fire himself from having to solve my problems and realize I just need support. I'm an external processor, but I don't want to dismiss. I want to agree, and I think you're giving good advice, but I don't want to dismiss the other piece, which is that there's two people in an exchange and his needs matter too. So he can work on being able to give himself permission to just listen, and it will probably feel lighter, and she'd probably appreciate that greatly. And the fact that negativity, it's not just problem solving. Some people have less bandwidth to hear. Our brains are contagious for emotion. So for a lot of people, when someone's being what sounds negative, it brings their mood down and it creates stress, and that matters too. Like, he also has the right to say, hey, I don't want to hear about that. I care about you, and right now I don't want to hear about this. Like, it's not good for me in this moment. That is equally valid. It's not just all her need to vent. It's his bandwidth too.
So what about hiring, or I don't even know how you'd suggest this to
An
your
emotional
partner.
support person that can listen to you.
Well, that's
Emotional
a-
support call girl.
That's a therapist.
Wait, that's my new job.
I was gonna go home.
I am a
and-
prostitute for emotion.
Yeah.
But it's almost like because your spouse does turn into your therapist sometimes.
Yeah.
Where you have no one else to tell, so you're just dumping all this stuff
Which
on your
sometimes
spouse.
isn't fair, man.
Yeah.
It isn't.
And then
It
you're
isn't.
just like go hire a therapist and tell that person hire a professional.
That's valid.
Okay,
So we don't get to, I mean, I think this is something I've had to learn as I got older, and I only learned it by doing therapy, but everyone can learn that because I like to vent and talk about my emotions ad nauseum, not everyone wants to listen to that. And we need to be better, more responsible, more aware human beings of also saying to someone, hey, do you have space to listen? I'm very cognizant of this now because I listen for a living, and listening, talking for me, I was born talking. I can talk all day and it doesn't take any energy out of me. But listening takes a lot of energy, especially when you give someone your attention and you listen deeply. So with my good friends who are mostly therapists, we'll say, hey, I want to talk about something. Or we make sure we're both doing the same amount of listening. Do you have time and space? We've got to do that for our partners. We can't just expect that whenever we want to emote and talk about something for 45 minutes that's super negative or stressful, that somebody's automatically going to listen, or that they even should. That's not fair.
God, I think our wives collectively get the brunt of, and I'm sure there are a ton of, and it works both sides, husbands as well, that are the brunt of small business struggle.
Yeah.
I want to talk this out to you. It's got to be insanely draining to hear them. I know for me, speaking for me, I can't speak for you, but I think you will have an opinion on this as strong as mine, that I could probably talk my wife real into a bad mood about something here that really I don't need to burden her with that, really.
No, I never tell Crystal about business. I'm
Good.
like, what does she know?
Okay,
joking,
but there's a middle ground to this point. There's a middle ground, which is to say, I'm having a hard time at work. I'm feeling kind of stressed today. Like, we shouldn't think of it as like we can't be real about what's happening. That's different from, I expect you to be a captive audience attentively for a 45-minute rant in which my emotions are going to ping pong all over the place. We have to recognize that that impacts somebody else's nervous system. There's nothing wrong with saying, I mean, I'm a small business owner too, and
Absolutely.
I could bore my husband to death. When he talks about work, sometimes I feel the way you describe, where I'm like, we're hearing this again. Like, this is so, I want to stick a needle in my eye.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, let me be a good partner and really listen. And other times I'll say, I care about this. I am so exhausted. Could we revisit it tomorrow when I have more energy and can really give you my focus?
Yeah, and then I was all like, why am I putting the needle in my eye? Put it in their eye. That'll get them to
Let me
stop.
stab you.
Can you maybe address this from the side of an emotional person? For those of us that get a little more stuck from other people's emotions, I know that as a I am a somatoform with a lot of like my stress and things. Also,
You're gay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have been. Well, actually, I'm trans, sir. I am pure trans.
I was not knowing words.
From my perspective, sometimes this is when we embarrass ourselves in front of her. And then I'm like, oh God, what have we done?
It's hysterical. It's hysterical what comes up when you say somatoform.
How do we stop ourselves from getting somebody else's mood to jump on us? I'm real bad about letting other people, like if they're like, I'll almost internalize what's going on with them. It gets on me, and now I'm part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's, I hate it.
So it to some degree, it's
an
little
empath, I guess, is what I'm describing.
Yeah, no, and
right?
I'm that way too. But I had to figure out how to do exactly this as a therapist, because early on in my career, I would come home distraught. I would take on everybody's stuff as my responsibility to fix. And I've learned, and I care deeply still, and I feel with my clients, and I very much bring my real personhood to these sessions. Like, I'll tear up all the time. The emotion is real.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to not take it on as mine to carry, which is exactly what you guys are saying. So a lot of it is what you're describing, Tom, the interior dialogue, reminding yourself constantly, hey, this isn't mine to carry. But to your point about being an empath, and this really is true, some of us, our wiring is more, it's the limbic system. You know, if you started to share something and tear up, I would automatically, through mirror neurons, I'd actually feel that and cry with you.
I do that.
Yeah, and other people don't, or we're all wired that way to a degree, but some people are more open for that. So some of this also is that you've got to protect yourself. You can only dialogue so much, and this is why saying to someone, really truly, someone who's more emotional like you and I, you know, saying to somebody, hey, I really care, and And right now, I'm so tired. I don't feel like I have the space to listen the way I want to. Can we come back to this another time?
Well, you don't care. That's why you're setting it aside.
Right. And if you're saying, but I do care very much. And I also care about my own bandwidth and my ability not only to be here for you,
Right.
but to take care of myself. And if somebody doesn't understand that, ultimately that's on them.
And that's the tough part, is being okay with possibly saying something, not mean,
Right.
but saying something that is truly a declaration of what you need, and that opposition you may get. I
Yep.
mean, it's not confirmed opposition.
No, but it happens.
It does happen.
It happens. And
it's a risk.
Yes, it's a risk. And also, it's not to say being okay with it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you at all. If someone you care about is hurt or disappointed or angry, of course you're going to feel something. But it's not the end of the world that we dread and anticipate it will be. And in fact, if we're not doing more of this, then we're in codependency, we're in resentment, we're in abandonment of self. It's bad not to do this.
Colette, I heard, because relationship advice is now in my algorithm, that so I saw this TikTok video of someone saying, don't start your conversations after work before dinner. And it's the worst time to start a conversation because you're both tired and hungry.
Yeah.
And like that's
Yeah.
a bad mindset to be in when you're having a conversation.
Hangry is real.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. And that's when most people want to talk. You get home from work before dinner, the kids are running around, you're stressed out, and then all of a sudden you're like, let's talk about how this made me feel last night. It's like, and then it's
Right.
like, wait until maybe the morning after breakfast when you're clear-headed, and don't do it when you're drunk. Don't do it when you're
Definitely
tired.
don't do it
Not
when you're drunk. And
hungry.
don't do it by text. Please, God,
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem in my office. Then couples are like, oh, yeah, but the whole thing was by text. You can't have a conversation that is connected or about feelings. It's just going to go sideways without context. But yes, timing matters. However, ultimately, long term, we want to get in the habit of this should just be like ping pong, where we're not having to be so strategic. I bring something up. I can't know how hangry you are until I try. And then you say, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm irritable. Let's table it for later. And then if I come back, then I build trust that I will, in fact, come back to the conversation. We got to just try it. Because otherwise, what I also hear in my office is I'm waiting for the right time, and then right time will never arrive because it's avoidance because we're scared to bring it up.
So
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And going back to like the workout analogy, and these are the kind of things that work in my brain, is that maybe getting in shape is the hardest part, but then maintaining it is easier after that, where it's like getting to the point where it's like it may be a lot at first, but then it's all maintenance after.
Yes. Oh my gosh. See, Tom always comes up with these brilliant things that really
Hold on,
are
let me put the camera on him.
so
There he
smart.
is.
and good.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
put a
they're
little
giving us a-
halo
okay,
over
good.
his
Good
head.
job, good
no,
job, buddy.
Tom, you're spot on, and it's a brilliant metaphor. In fact, I use the weight training
I
thing
like a crown
all the
of
time.
thorns, by the way.
Yeah. He's like a, more of a Christ complex
You're
kind of a thing.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm more of a Pontius Pilate type of guy.
Look, if you build up a
Crucified Christ.
bicep, then you can pick up the weight effortlessly, and all you have to do is go to the gym and keep your muscle mass. If you've never picked up a weight, right, then you've got to start from scratch, but it gets easier and easier. This is developing an emotional muscle, and it may sound overwhelming to people, but if you start really, really small, and that's why I say something that is like on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 3, just take a risk. Try to express yourself. Try to have a boundary. And when you go back to, I'm going to be vulnerable about my own feelings, not my story, and I'm really going to just share my perspective, not come at my partner, right? Then that's the place to start. And then we see how it lands. That's why I also say it's ping pong. If it's received and it's received well, then you want to do it. The muscle gets stronger and you naturally want to go. When you're in shape, you want to go to the gym. When I feel like fat and doughy, I don't even want to go because it doesn't even feel good to put on the workout clothes.
Right.
But when I'm in really good shape, I'm like, I can't wait to go to the gym. It's the same.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense to me. It
does.
Let's do another email. while we
All
have
right,
some time.
this one's interesting. Hello, Love Thy Neighbor crew. What are some of the details that you should disclose when dating or marrying someone sooner rather than later for loved ones and friends, i.e., diseases.
Yep.
My parents are still alive, and he goes through a list of like, sort
Wait,
of like.
can we hear them? What
Well,
does he
like,
say?
well, this one he's saying like, I mean, they're like jokes, like gonorrhea, or you know,
yeah, but
like-
actually that's
well,
real.
or like
Yeah.
having like
if you have
herpes,
gonorrhea,
or
yeah.
or like what type of things when you're single
Yep.
or back dating, what type of things should you disclose? When should you disclose these? Is it a first date? He goes on to say, do you do this at first date? Do you do this after a month? Are there best practices that Colette can help us with?
Oh, this is so great. So yes, yes, yes. To some degree, I'm going to say it's like this with everything. There's a case by case basis. I mean, what is it? How important is it? Sexually transmitted diseases, do you have to announce that on a first date? Of course not. But if you're dating someone and seeing them, or if you're physically intimate on the first date, then I guess you do.
I'm
That
not
speaks
saying
to
this
my
to
own
brag, but
values.
I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
This is not a. This
Don't
is,
tell me while I'm doing the paperwork. I was like, what?
Right. By the way, I have herpes while you're performing oral sex on me. That's messed up.
that
guys.
is pretty bad.
And see, I just revealed that like I'm not a sex on a first date person, so that wouldn't be a first date topic for me. And there's no shame in sex on a first date. I want to
I'm
say
glad
that
you
clearly.
made me feel better because I was feeling really bad about myself for 2 seconds there.
This is my own knowing of myself and how I feel the best in a relationship. But if you are going to do those things, then talk about it. But you absolutely, if you have any charges against you, domestic violence, stalking, you may make like jokes about this, but it's not always that a person is like a total monster that these things happen. Sometimes it's a partner that has like been punitive against somebody unfairly. You want to bring this up before somebody background checks you. You want to tell people if you have children, if you're divorced, if you have sexually transmitted diseases, those things need to come up early, and it creates a lot of safety for people when you come to the table disclosing warts and all. I got to the point when I met my husband dating where I was like, I'm going to tell you everything bad about me right now, and you can opt in or out. And I don't care, really, truly, because I'd rather you just know what might be like undesirable about me right off the jump.
No, right at the beginning you said like how personal did you get?
No, I got pretty personal. But again, I'm a therapist, so I talk about personal stuff all the time. But I would say maybe the third date. I think the third date's a good litmus. If you like someone enough for a third date, that's where things might deepen. Where you might, I'm not saying you have to like trauma dump or, say every horrible thing. I'm being a little hyperbolic.
I live in a land of nightmares.
Yes.
Every time
yes.
I close my
I am
eyes, I
abusive
think
and-
of the molestation.
Yeah.
But I do think coming to the table with especially any kind of charges, legal things, relationship issues. All right, I'll give you another good one. I'm still.
There's a misunderstanding in a dressing room at a Walmart.
That's what everyone says. But like, I'm still divorced. A lot of people are separated and dating, and the marriage is for all intents and purposes
that's
over.
the big one.
But if you're still legally married, now some people, their religious beliefs, their moral beliefs, they don't want to date anyone. I dated when I was separate. My ex-husband moved in his now wife before we were even divorced, and I was fine with it. So everyone's
awesome.
got everyone. I know, right?
What a
We
move.
could unpack that.
What a move.
Right?
Still legally married.
Oh, yeah. That's a crotch chop if I've ever seen one. My God. That
But
guy.
I was okay with it. So my point is that everybody's going to have different feelings around this. Give someone the respect of allowing them to name whether they're okay with it or not. Right? You run the risk of being rejected, but wouldn't you rather be yourself and get rejected early than not? Can I give a quick example?
Oh, yeah, please.
I have a friend who's newly dating again. She's been talking to this guy, as people now do. I also don't think people should talk back and forth for weeks before we meet, but that's just my personal opinion for a variety of
You have
reasons.
nothing to talk about at Olive Garden.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to really experience someone in person and get that litmus test out of the way sooner than later, even if it's for a quick coffee. But they're talking back and forth. They're connected. She's excited about the date. People are like, make sure you background check. And she's like, yeah. Well, she forgets to do it. Her mom looks the guy up and finds out that he had a charge against him. And I don't want to get into too many details out
the
of
Winter
respect
Garden
for her.
Strangler.
So right, and he had a whole long explanation for why, and maybe it's totally legit, but she and I talked and processed, should she move forward with the date? Ultimately, it's a very personal decision that she has to rely on her own intuition. And ultimately, she decided not to. Now, had he told her about that up front in the course of all these conversations, maybe, and explained what it was about, maybe it would have gone differently.
So if you're that guy now, you retaliate against the mother, right?
It's always.
I was trying to think of the sickest thing I could say there. And that retaliation against the mother for the background check is the only thing I could think of.
It's always I was just going pee at Mardi Gras.
I was going to pee. I turned around to catch some bees. I didn't know there's going to be a kid band playing there. There's a whole kid band playing there. They're marching in a parade.
That's when they got me.
No big deal.
Again, The Cost of Quiet, anywhere books are found,
Yes.
Amazon, you can get the audiobook.
Books are found, like
Yeah.
you just bump into them.
So I was like, anywhere you
Get him, Colette. They love that.
Online.
No, they love it when she gets us. Get him so bad. He deserves
Yes,
that.
no.
He does.
He deserves
He
that.
does.
And you didn't even get me for my. That was a very
I know. I definitely
inappropriate.
pick on Tom way
do.
more than you.
You do?
Well, it's
Why
easy.
do I pick on you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much?
yeah.
Because
I
I'm
mean, people
emotional
like
and you
it.
know I'm weaker.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
handle
I
it.
can
And
take
you guys
anything.
don't pick on me really at all. You can
no.
pick on me too.
No,
You
no,
can.
no.
You
No.
can.
Can't do it.
I'm sturdy enough for that.
I'll get to it eventually.
Okay, good.
But then I gotta test a small little. But then,
Yeah.
but if you
We'll shoot a shot over the
Feel
bow.
free to zing me a little and
a
see what
shot
happens.
over the bow to
But-
see how it's effect.
But just like EJ is one of our listeners, when I find he can take anything, it goes too far.
yeah,
It
that's
goes way
true.
too
When
far.
we find
You're
out
too
how
mean.
tough you truly are, then we put you to the test.
Yeah, Colette, thanks again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much. We love you. Safe travels and whatever you're doing, because I know she's always busy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
I'm
always
still book touring for the cost
hustling,
of
son.
quiet.
Get the book, The Cost of Quiet. Get it on Amazon. Leave a review. And again, I'm beating the drum for the audio book because Colette actually reads it, so you'll have her right in your car.
And again, email us at hello@lovethineighborshow.com, and we'll see you next week.
Got it. We did it.
Boom. Was that okay?
You're 1 minute over,
That's
but
fine.
yeah,
That's perfect.
you're at
We'll
noon,
talk to you
and we are
after.
done.
Yeah,
we can get you out of here on time.
Okay.
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 Yep.
And then we're back on. We've got the meeting with Laura scheduled, right?
Guys, we are going to do a set. Are we at lunch now, T?
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to lunch. Well, they work out other scheduling things. Thanks for hanging out with us today, y'all. That was a marathon of Love Thy Neighbor shows. And they were fun. Those are fun, but they are taxing because that is a lot of thinking. So thanks for hanging out with us. We will be back a little before 1 p.m. with, I believe we have Fair Villa, so it's going to get a little silly. BDM folks, if you haven't checked your account, you may want to, if you're a BDM and you haven't checked your account, you may want to double check it just to make sure your address and everything are correct, especially if you are a higher level donation person, if you're like let's say like a 1095 or something. Bye, Colette. Because you may be getting free stuff. You may be getting some extra fun stuff. So, guys,